Mayo Experience.
That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. Today, we're going back in time to relive the best moments of the 2021 NFL season with the second edition of CUST Corner 36, Part B. Reminder to everyone out there to smash the like button to the episode. In the comment section, write whatever you want positively. Help us rig the algorithm. But mainly, if you want to catch up on all the CUST Corners, you can do that on the playlist on the Mayo Media Network YouTube channel, or just subscribe to the CUST Corner exclusive audio feed. Put those in your earbuds. Have a laugh while you're walking around. Rate and review it while you're there as well. Let's get to it. CUST Corner!
CUST Corner, it's CUST Corner. CUST Corner, it's CUST Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's CUST Corner, it's CUST Corner. CUST Corner.
This is in the spirit of a mini. I have a mini topic. It's sort of a little off the beaten path, but it's something I was thinking about just yesterday. We are now to the point of the year where it's kind of too cold for you to wash your own car. And so you've got to, if you want to have your car washed, you've got to take it through a car wash. Now, the problem with that is I am terrified of going through the car wash. I'm scared. It makes me very anxious. I hate it. It's loud. It's dark. I'm always afraid that like the soap might get in through a crack in the windshield that I hadn't seen, or that it might break something, or that I might accidentally roll down a window. And so I'm terrified when I go through a car wash. So I don't understand how in 2021 we can't have like a valet who will drive your car through the car wash for you at a price so that you can get your car washed and clean.
Wow.
But you don't have to go through the stress of having to go through the car wash yourself, or develop some alternative system whereby I can get my car washed and clean, because I like to have a clean car, but I don't have to go through a car wash, which is terrifying.
Okay. I'll wrap this up really quickly. Most people are not nuts like you, so there's no need for this service. Two, just bring your car to like a detailer. They'll wash the inside and outside for you. Just drop it off with them.
Yeah, but I don't want to spend that kind of money. I just want like a quick
Well, what do you want? You want to pay someone to drive your car through the fucking car wash with you?
It should be like $5 where I just give someone.
Why would anyone do this? Well, how is that?
And
how is that a service which would be profitable for anyone?
It's like a full service gas station, right? Like
which barely exist at this point.
You just want a butler.
I got to use it the other day.
You just want a butler.
Yeah, I just want somebody who could be a valet to drive my car through the car wash for me while I go purchase something at the gas station, because usually the car washes are attached to gas stations, right? At least they are around here. So like I can go in and like buy some DC or something, and when I come out, my car is cleaned and washed and spick and span. I think that would be great.
You want to play some scratchies while someone is...
Yes, that'd be awesome. Like there are lots of things that I don't want to have to do that I've got to do this day and age. It'd be great if somebody could, just for $5 or whatever.
Well, they're not going to do it for $5, but you just need a personal assistant. That's what they would do.
Well, yeah, but I don't want a personal assistant.
Well, you can't have it every way, can you?
It's just like the little things like that would be nice, right? Like,
yeah, of course, not doing things for yourself and having someone else do them for you would be nice. What are you talking about?
Well, so I don't know why there aren't systems set up for people who are anxious when it goes through going through car washes.
Well, there are. It's called go to the psychiatrist and get meds.
No. I just find going through car washes to be very uncomfortable. And I'm sure there's lots of people who feel the same way.
Well, not enough for it to be a business.
I think these people would be like, what sort of dummy, like on the scale of society, do you think would be sitting in your car?
Somebody who works at the gas station, for example. That could be like part of like used to have full service attendants. Well, one of the things an attendant could do is they could drive your car through the car wash for you. That would be a real convenience for me. Like it used to be convenient to have somebody wash your windshield.
Yeah, and what happened to all of those jobs? They went away because people were like, man, I can just do this myself.
Yeah, but I would rather someone else do it for me.
then you need to
It's the
hire
same like I
someone
was thinking
personally
last
to. There's not a market for this.
Like last night, I made pasta.
You're literally like
it's
a
a really-
6-year-old
and it's a
afraid of the car wash. It's automated.
It's
They literally
loud and
you
it's
sit
scary
there-
and the soap and
you
all the
sit
tentacles
there
are coming
to
at you.
listen to whatever you want, and you come out the other end. And
I'm
this
afraid
is
it's gonna like fall off the tracks and then like I'll be caught in there. I don't know. It's irrational, but it scares me, and I don't like going through the car wash.
Well,
Okay,
is this the same reason you keep the light on at night?
I do keep a night light on. I don't like it super dark at night when I'm sleeping. I like to have a light on. Yes, I do. Okay, ha 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 ha. That's me. I like to have a light burning throughout the night. It makes me feel comfortable. And plus, if I have to get up to get a glass of water or something, then I have a light that I can clearly see where I'm going. I don't stumble into something. It's also practical and pragmatic.
Also, on the ratio of you getting up in the middle of the night to go get a water versus you getting up in the middle of the night to have a DC and a cig, what would you say that ratio is?
It leans more towards the DC side, but it does happen that I just get some water instead. I was thinking last night too, like I made pasta as a part of a meal, and I was like, you can get stuff pre-made that you can take home and make. Like, you go to the grocery store and like pizzas are there and made. All you have to do is throw them in the oven and they're made. There should be a place that you can buy hot, just cooked pasta, just the noodles. And all you need to do when you go home is just add the sauce on your own.
you
or,
could
like,
do that
on your own.
for
But
sure.
like
Yeah, you.
But, like, just buy the
what do you
noodles
mean
the
that
grocery stores that
Yeah.
Pat shops at would have that.
It's true.
but like that they're hot. They're already cooked. I don't have to do
Oh,
anything to
yeah.
them.
Yeah, that exists.
I've never seen that. Like, I'd like to have somewhere where I could just buy plain spaghetti that's already cooked for me that I could take home, and then that like takes that stress out of the meal when I'm trying to like do 4 things at once. Because like I was making like this fusion meal last night of both Korean and Italian food.
Oh, please
And-
walk us through this fusion meal that you were making for yourself.
So I bought some beef short rib, and I cooked beef short rib, and I
Now, when you say, hold on, you need to walk us through this a little bit more in depth. When you say you bought beef short rib, you mean you bought frozen beef short rib and microwaved it?
no, I bought fresh stuff in the
Oh.
deli case, brought it
Okay.
home, and then I put a marinade on it, and the marinade was DC, and I put it in the oven.
You
I-
should marinate with regular Coke. The
I didn't
sugars
have-
are really
I didn't have any, so I marinated with DC, and then I also added Korean barbecue sauce, and I added sesame seeds to it, and then underneath I had penne pasta with a red wine pasta sauce that I bought, and I mixed in a ton of fresh Parmesan cheese and mixed it all together in a big pot, and then put the beef short rib on top, and that was like a Korean and Italian fusion meal. I was very proud of myself.
I
Sounds good.
am pretty impressed about your experimentation in the kitchen. However, I mean, this kind of gets back to what we talked about last week when you thought there was 150 calories in a strawberry milkshake from McDonald's. How many calories do you think are in that meal that you just made? Just as a guess.
1,000.
I'd say
900.
I was going to say a lot more than that because I know the portion size. I mean, you're cooking for one, but that's one of the problems that if you ever cook for one is you always make too much food. That you're
And I
like-
didn't make too much.
You're probably pushing like 2,000, 2,500 calories on this one.
You think? I mean, I didn't eat a ton.
Yeah, but
He earned it.
you got pasta, which has a ton of calories in it because it's essentially just carbs. You have this sauce, and I guarantee you added a ton of the sauce to it. You're throwing cheese on top of it afterwards, plus as a part of your fusion, which sounds really nice actually. This sounds like a pretty good meal. I'm not taking that away from you, but
thank you.
We talked about eating healthy, going to the gym.
Yes, and I thought I was eating healthy by cooking my own meal and not like getting something deep fried and fattening.
Yeah, but stuff isn't healthy for you if you
Aren't
only
these
compare
good-
it to the
aren't these
worst
calories?
possible things for you. Like, yeah,
Aren't these
cocaine's
calories?
fine. It's not heroin. Like, what are we
Yeah, but-
talking about here?
Aren't these good calories? I'm cooking for myself and like
It's not the worst calories you can have, but I thought we were talking about like having stir fry with cauliflower rice and stuff like that. Stuff that like
I have a stir fry for this evening.
what is it?
It's going to be pork, like fast fried pork chops that I've chopped up
Okay.
with red pepper, yellow pepper, green pepper, onion, and then on top of some rice.
And that's everything that's in it. No sauce, nothing like that.
Some pesto sauce because I love pesto.
Okay. I have no idea if pesto sauce is like high or low, so I can't really speak to that.
You don't use much of it. Put it that way.
Okay.
It's very, very.
I guess. See, this sounds pretty good. See, this sounds like a healthier meal. I guess it depends on the amount of rice that you end up eating. If you make like an entire box of rice, then it's probably.
Oh no, a cup.
Okay, so yeah, this sounds like a healthy meal. The other one doesn't sound so healthy.
Okay, I can see what you're saying, but I thought by avoiding like the richer pasta sauces and going for the tomato-based one, and going with the short rib rather than something deep fried, and going with like the pasta with the holes in it rather than like the thicker, heavier pastas, that it might be a healthier choice.
You know, you can find out this information by just looking at the package, right?
I know, but I also thought you'd be proud that here I was cooking.
You know what? I will give you your due on this one. I am thoroughly impressed that you didn't burn your house down.
Thank you. Beef short rib was actually incredibly easy to cook.
Shockingly,
I just put it in the oven.
Cooking not hard.
Well, some things are hard, but this was not hard. I was very impressed with myself that I was able to do this.
I will say that most cooking is essentially just following a list of instructions.
Yeah, I'm not much for following instructions when I cook. I sort of like try to wing it.
Why?
I just figure I can figure it out, right? I just follow my gut about how much I think I need to put in this. So that's why I'm bad at baking, because baking is such chemistry that you have to be so precise. But that's why every time I try to bake.
We went through this last week. Your instincts, bad. Follow the recipe.
Well, like there were recipes, but then they're like, back in the day, there were no recipes. People had to like figure it out on their own.
Yeah, they did
you
that.
Traveled with you keep like an old map in your car to get directions. Why would you not use a recipe to cook?
I mean, if I had the recipe in front of me, I wouldn't like crumple it up and throw it away. But like, I don't know, like.
I don't know. Hold on. You say, I don't know, like, pause. What is it that you don't know? Obviously, it's the recipe. Sure. You could get the recipe pretty easily.
I mean,
I think it's his hubris that he's too smart to like need it, Pat.
I figure I can figure it out most of the time.
No
is the answer to that, especially as someone who rarely cooks.
Okay, fair enough.
Will you start using that? Geoff, on the Friday show, I might try to convince Cam to move down here if we can get him a sponsor, and I can start shooting a show with him out of the new place. But we would do a CUST versus Cam cooking show. How good would that be?
Sounds like Cam's a good cook.
Yeah, Cam can throw down.
I would
kill Tim.
Oh yeah,
I bet he would. I bet he would. I bet you he's a very good cook. I do not profess.
Like he would know recipes and what would go with what and flavor seasoning like way better than Tim's like random
pouring Diet Coke. Yeah, Diet Coke.
Well,
Diet Coke on everything.
Well, I know that people use Coca-Cola.
Coke is a good seat. Like my wife makes her Coca-Cola brisket. It's delicious.
Yeah,
but she needs the sugars from the Coke. If she doesn't have Coke, she doesn't want any other Coke. Sometimes Dr. Pepper's good too, weirdly enough.
Yeah, the aspartame doesn't work quite as well. It's like when I make if I do a slow cooker, like, I cook roast beef, you put some Coke into it. And that's always a good way to go because it is all the sugars that go into it. This is the cooking segment brought to you by McDonald's. When are you going back to McDonald's, Tim?
Tomorrow morning.
What are you getting?
Coffees.
Oh.
Morning coffee, late morning coffee, afternoon coffee.
When do you get to the point where you travel to the other provinces to go get stuff?
We're not there yet. I'm still getting stickers on everything.
Yeah, but when was the last time? When was the last time you got a unique sticker?
It's been now at least a week since I got a unique sticker.
When you order, do you have to clarify like you still have the before I order? I need to make sure you still have the cups.
No, it's on until November 8th, so we're not to that point yet. Come around like the weekend of the 30th, 31st, then we're getting into the business end of this competition, and I will have to then start making inquiries about. Do you have this left? Then I have to start going to get the 20-piece nuggets. I got to start, really trying to put the pedal down. But until
you should just bring a feast of food to the boys. Like bring a nugget party.
I said I was going to do such a thing.
Just bring a nugget. Yeah, but see, Pat demands your stickers.
No, he would let me have any winners unless they're the instant winners. Then that's fine.
I never said that. I said that I was going to keep the stickers.
Anyway. I will be bringing because we're like the 8th that it's over, and I can't wait. I'm going on a McDonald's fast.
You said this last year. And how hard is it to go on a McDonald's fast? I don't think I've eaten McDonald's in like a year.
When you go every day, it's very hard to stop going every day.
Like you're addicted
No,
to
you
it?
can't stop because after McDonald's, it's the deal on Egg McMuffins.
Yes,
You're in your
I know.
cycle.
I will delete the app so I can't look at what's new this week.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you don't see it, it doesn't exist. You know those deals are out there. Now that you have the app, there's deals all year round.
I know, but I have to go on for my own sense of health. I have to go on it fast, even though
If you had any sense of health, you wouldn't have done this to begin with.
Yeah, okay, well, but whatever. Like, this is like a pastime for me, and most of my purchases now are things that aren't bad for you. They're like 0-calorie purchases, so like it's fine. But like I miss my Tim Hortons, and I miss Starbucks, and I miss Second Cup, and I miss other places I get my coffee. I don't like McDonald's coffee very much.
You're in this game. You're like people don't respect like you're just playing. You're playing a revolting game, and you compared it to my Herbert rookies. Shame on you. Like you don't even enjoy it. You're in so deep. You got to keep like.
Yes, I'm tired of McDonald's coffee. It's okay, but it's not that good. I miss that Tim Hortons hit.
Well, Tim Hortons coffee is also pretty terrible.
But
it's about equivalent to McDonald's coffee.
It's a fuller flavor and it's nostalgic and brings me back.
You can't drink fucking nostalgia, you moron.
Well, I can. I love things are nostalgic to me, which is why I love them.
Like being afraid. Is that why you have the nightlight? You're nostalgic for being afraid of the dark, like a 2-year-old?
No, it's just I don't need it to be pitch black.
Did you have an incident like you couldn't find the washroom?
I've walked into things on more than one occasion.
Because you had to have abandoned the nightlight only to bring it back as an adult or something. Like
I'm not sure. Like I just usually have a lamp burning somewhere on the counter or whatever, or like on the bedside table, just because I'm not one of these people who has to sleep in complete darkness.
Why not just fall asleep with the TV on then?
Or if you wake up in the middle of the night and you have a bedside light, just turn it on when you get up so you don't walk into anything.
Yeah, but you're not like completely like thinking clearly when you wake up at 3 a.m. to get a glass of water or whatever. You just stand up. Anyway, this is what I do. I'm not saying anyone else has to do it, but this is what it comforts me.
You're a man, baby. You have a nightlight and you need a valet for a car wash.
It would be nice. I would appreciate it. I miss parcel pickup too, because I liked when people brought your groceries out to your car.
You can actually still do that. You just have to order it through the app, and you can show up, and they will put the stuff in your car for you.
I don't want to do that. I want to go in.
What the fuck do you want then?
I want to go in and get the groceries. Then I want it to go through the parcel pickup so that it gets dropped off in my car that I picked out personally.
You really need to move to a simpler time.
Well, I yearn for a simpler time.
You're going to be especially triggered. I went to the grocery store the other day, and they have the new carts that have the scanner on them. It's great. It is the best thing of all
intimidated.
time.
I could have tried it.
Oh, so good.
I had it, but I said, you know what? That seems a little too intimidating. I'm just going to take this old buggy with the wheels over here.
Do you know how much time it saves? It's great because you can have your 3 bags in front of you, and then you can allocate your fruit and vegetables for 1 bag. If you have your eggs, you can make sure that's fine. You can put all your meats together.
Oh, I don't bag my own stuff.
You don't bag your own stuff?
No, I don't bag my own stuff. I get it bagged.
You can't even do... When was the last time you went and bought groceries? Because they don't do that now anymore.
Yesterday, and yes, they did.
Where?
At Sobeys. I bought a paper bag for 15 cents or whatever it costs because that's what I do. And they stack the bag for you.
Wow. They must know who you are. That's pretty good stuff. Because most people are like, here it is. Anyway, packing your own grocery bag, not that big of a deal. And the time that it saves you at checkout is astronomical. You save yourself 10 to 15 minutes.
What's 10 to 15 minutes?
A lot. 10 to 15 minutes is a lot.
That's not
when your time is worthless like yours, I guess it's nothing. But
my time is worth something. But listen, that gives me 10 or 15 more minutes to listen to a podcast, to just relax and not have to do something else.
You're too anxious to go through a car wash, but you find it relaxing standing at a grocery store waiting for someone to bag your groceries.
I like lines. I never minded lines.
You like lines?
No, but you complain about the Christmas line. You complain about
because the people in there don't know how to behave, and the people in there are weekend warriors who are showing up, to buy their David's tea or whatever. Anyway, I never minded lines. Like, I don't love lines, but I never minded a line. Like, I never minded standing in a line and just waiting patiently for my turn.
Oh my God.
Again, I'm not one of these millennials who have to have everything immediately right now, or else I can wait.
Tim Wentworth as often referred to standing in line as he enjoys the communal experience.
Yes, and I can listen to a podcast and just you know what? You only come around this way once, and life is not about trying to rush through everything all the time.
Yeah, I would prefer to do things that I want to do. Therefore, I can save time. I don't want to waste time doing the things that are a chore and awful that I need to do. I'd rather get out of there to go do something I enjoy to do. And I hate to tell you, standing in line isn't at the very top of my power rankings of things that I enjoy.
Of course not. Of course not. But look, it builds character and patience. And
no, it doesn't. It makes you a sap. There's two moves to do in a line. You either wait in a line like a loser, or you go to the front of the line and say, "Do you know who I am? Let me in right now." And when they inevitably say, "Sir, no," you don't have to go to that place anymore. It worked once. It was fantastic.
This is a Wendy's.
But like lines, I see a line in anywhere, like not going to this place. Done.
Tim loves the DMV. Like, can't wait to go renew things.
I don't mind it. I don't. I don't love it, but I don't mind it because, again, I have some patience.
You have a lot of time on your hands, it seems like.
Well, I have the same amount of time as everybody else does, 24 hours in a day.
It doesn't seem so. It seems like you just don't do anything.
I do things.
You have time.
But again,
you have time to waste.
Rush.
You have time to waste, it appears.
Having patience is a virtue.
You are on the same schedule as my grandmother, whose big activity is leaving the house.
Yeah, well, I've only been leaving the house some days to get DCs.
There we are.
So, like I sort of teased earlier in the episode, I have now committed myself to the life of lifting. And it's something that I've been practicing both with people helping me and on my own. And the last week or so, I've been doing it on my own, working out different muscles and different groups. And I've had a particular like for the bench press. But when I'm on my own, I don't feel comfortable putting on a bunch of plates on the bench press because I don't want to ask for a spotter quite yet. And so I want to do it without spotter. So I haven't been putting any plates on the bar. The bar's heavy on its own. It's 45 pounds. And so I've been bench pressing several sets from different positions, inclined, seated, whatever, the 45-pound bar. And it's now to the point where I feel like my motor paths are working very well. And I just feel better already. I feel better from lifting. I really strongly recommend it.
That's it. I mean, yes, we're exercising will make you feel better. I don't want to discourage you from this. I really want to lay into you about 3 or 4 things you said, but I do not want to discourage you from going to the gym. So I agree with you. I'm proud of you. I'm glad you're getting stronger.
Thank you. Now, lay into me.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Please do. Lay into me.
I have a very specific rule that I go by, that I never make fun of anyone at the gym, ever. Because I think that people going to the gym is step one of getting to the place that you need to be at. And especially in terms of physical health. So whether you're advanced, whether you're a beginner, no one should shame anyone at the gym. Because people are there for all of the same goal, to be healthier. So I think that's not something that I want to do.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that.
Well, okay, here's what, Geoff, let me ask you this. Tim was calling out people, our friends, about how much that they lift and how much they can bench press?
Yeah, I heard he's bullying people about what they're lifting right now, which is a pretty interesting pivot for Tim.
I'm not bullying them how much they lift. I'm just asking them whether they even lift. I asked somebody the other day, do you even lift, bro?
And the answer was no, but then it came out he could lift 5 times what you can lift.
I don't know about 5 times. I can do 90. I can do 90, but I need to have a spotter because I don't want it to crush me. If I'm only just doing a couple of sets.
You can't put the plates on the bar.
No. So that was misconstrued. I absolutely
that is exactly what you said.
What I was trying to say was I don't feel comfortable putting the plates on the bar and lifting on my own because I want to have a spotter. Of course, I can put the plates on the bar and clamp them. I'm not incompetent. I don't need a personal valet to put my weights on the ball, although that would be nice. Wouldn't that be a nice thing at a gym to have, now that you mention it? To have like one of the attendants.
If you had a personal trainer, I'm sure they would do that for you.
Yeah, but even if you didn't have a personal trainer, just one of the things they did for you at the gym was that they had somebody who worked in the weights section, whose job it was to put weights on and off your. That would actually be really convenient. But no, I can put the weights on and off. It's just a factor of I haven't been doing it because I don't want it. I just don't want to ask for a spotter, and I'm not comfortable.
Why don't you ask someone to spot you?
Well, if I don't know the people, I don't like. What's the end? You don't just walk up to somebody and say, "Can you spot me while I pump like 80 pounds?" I would feel very emasculated doing that, so I wouldn't do that.
But as long as you keep showing up there, you'll make gym friends. You'll make lifting friends. Like, have you bought lifting shoes yet?
So I was looking into lifting shoes, lifting gloves. What do I buy for pre-workout, for post-workout?
Well,
and I get a lot of
hold on. Why do you need pre and post workout? You told us that you chug a Diet Pepsi the second when you walk, like right before you walk.
First, that is not what I said.
You said you finished it in the parking lot before you went in.
Not a Diet Pepsi.
Oh, Diet Coke. Sorry.
Yes, my pre-workout is a Diet Coke in the parking lot before I go in, and my post is the other Diet Coke sitting in my cup holder for when I come out. Because as our weightlifting friend told us, your body processes Diet Coke the same way it processes water. Did he not? Did he not say that?
He did say that. I mean, he also gave us some other facts about Diet Coke that he heard on a podcast and then refused to tell us what the podcast was.
I couldn't remember, but the point was that your body processes Diet Coke the same way it processes water. And yeah, right now my pre-workout is a DC. So
but you realize that Diet Coke and water aren't the same thing, right? Like, you're not getting hydrated when you drink Diet Coke.
Well, that's not what, as I understood the term processes it, I understood that it meant that it hydrates you just as much.
Okay, that's not what he meant.
Well, it wasn't clear to me. I thought that's what he meant.
How is that not clear to you? How would you think that drinking Diet Coke is giving you good hydration? What's wrong with you? You are a fucking doctor.
It's 99% water. Okay, whatever. It gives you caffeine. It makes you full. So, like, I'm one of these people where I'll get to the gym and start working out. And like halfway through my workout, I'll think I should just quit and go get a sandwich.
What?
Or I should just go quit and get a hamburger. That's what I would like to do.
You find that working out makes you hungry?
I find it makes me starving because they have all the TVs on, and the TVs have all those fast food commercials. And I see like an advertisement for like the 2 for $8 Whoppers at Burger King. And like halfway through my workout, I think I could just stop what I'm doing that's very instant, go get showered, go to Burger King, eat 2 Whoppers in the parking lot, and I would be so happy right now. And so what I need to do is when I go into the gym, I need to feel full, or at least not hungry. I don't need to be like stuffed, but I need to feel not hungry. And the thing about Diet Coke is that it's carbonated, and so it fills you up, and it's also got caffeine in it, so you've got some energy. So I've been drinking the DC before and the DC after, and that also prevents me from stopping at Wendy's or McDonald's or Burger King on the way home after my workout, not to ruin it.
I don't know how I would feel like if I had like a full stomach if I went to go work out. Jeff
it's not a full stomach. A can of DC is not a full stomach.
Jeff, has Tim inspired you to take up lifting?
No.
So you don't lift, is what you're saying. You don't lift, bro. Like, now that I lift, I can't imagine not wanting to lift. Like, when I'm not lifting, like, I feel like I should be lifting.
That's the second time you said you don't lift, bro.
Well, you don't, apparently. Look, I didn't either. But now, like, it was not an addiction per se, because you can't get addicted to these sorts of things. But like every day I don't lift, I feel like I should be lifting. Like, I'm enjoying.
That's good. That's healthy. I'm
enjoying lifting. That tension on my muscles. I really enjoy that. I think I just know that I'm doing the right thing.
Good.
But I don't want to ruin it by
happy for you.
Bacon cheese. I don't want to ruin it by doing what I would often do, which is go hit up Wendy's after a workout, get 2 JBCs, because I think, well, I've earned this. I've done a good workout. And I realize that's just basically revving the car in neutral. I'm not helping myself any. So by drinking these carbonated drinks after the workout too, it prevents me from stopping at McDonald's or Burger King or wherever on the way home.
Why do you keep saying McDonald's? I don't understand that. It's spelled MC.
Yeah, McDonald's. Like a big, I'm sorry, is the big hamburger there called the Big Mick?
Yeah, but that's Big Mac. But that's also, how do you spell Big Mac?
And in French, are they not the Mac Poulet? and the mac croquette.
How
It's the
it's actually a poulet McRocket, but if you spell Big
Royale
Mac
with cheese.
can you spell Big Mac for me? Spell it out.
MAC.
Okay, and how do you spell McDonald's?
Obviously MC.
So
But
why-
Mick and Mac are,
No,
I don't know.
You want to tell some you go tell
my
go to
my grandmother's whole side is MacNeil, and people say McNeil and MacNeil, and they don't make much of a distinction between the two, even though of course they're spelled differently. And I understand that one is Scottish and one is Irish, and there's historical distinctions. I don't know, but people in my family have always said, like, my grandmother always used to say McDonald's, I guess, and it must have just sort of like integrated into me.
Remember we had this conversation earlier this week that maybe your grandmother was
Yes.
not the beacon of normal behavior?
Yes, I'm realizing this now.
That everything she did 50 years ago may not be applicable to right now.
Yes, we did have this discussion, and I see what you're saying. But on my point, don't you find the same thing, that as soon as you leave the gym, you think, "Oh my God, I'm starving. I want to go get a hamburger"?
No, in fact, I
do.
really feel like I'm not hungry for ages after. It's
Oh,
like
no.
I have way more energy after the gym.
I have more energy.
That's why I try to work out at like 10 or 11 a.m. in the morning, is that I feel like for the rest of the day I have great energy and I'm not as hungry throughout the course of the day. But it also
So I do find I have energy.
But it also depends on what I'm doing at the same time. Like if I do go and I do like heavy weights, I'll have to basically force. That's why people take the protein powder right afterwards. I'll go try to make sure that I go eat a protein heavy meal right after.
But why would you go to the gym and not lift?
I mean, Tim, look at me.
I don't understand why I'd ever go not to lift now. Like, now that I can lift, why not just go to lift? Like, cardio's fine, but now that I get into the weights, like, I feel like the weight's the way to go. Cardio at the end. It's not like a burden, and I'm not now spending my whole time at the gym thinking about what I'm going to eat afterwards, which I used to.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, but
Like, I haven't.
but you've somehow turned into obnoxious gym guy after 10 days
I
of
know.
working out.
I'm not being obnoxious.
But
Yeah,
you are.
you're making it intimidating for like the way you feel about it. You're making me feel about it. Like,
Yeah.
you lift, bro. Like, you're very
Well,
intimidating and trying to bully.
I'm not trying to bully anybody.
Yeah, you're trying to bully me. Oh, you
When
go.
you
You,
ask
you don't. You
someone,
don't
like,
even
do you
lift. You
lift?
just do cardio. What are you talking about?
I just feel like if
Are
I'm
you-
going to go to the gym,
Are you on steroids?
no, I'm not.
Are you sure?
I guess I'm getting a feeling from lifting that I've never gotten from cardio. And I never lifted before, but like I feel differently and more energetic and happy from lifting than I ever did from cardio.
Well, because you're getting stronger.
So like, why would I want to just do cardio when I could feel better doing lifting? Like,
Listen, I'm
Why
not
wouldn't
saying
you?
just go do some cardio, but I think that, I mean, you're going
everybody out there should lift.
What's that?
Everybody out there should lift if you can. My point is, if you can lift, you should lift. If you haven't lifted before and you were like me 2 weeks ago, start lifting. You'll feel so good about it. Don't worry about the cardio stuff. Don't worry about lift. Because that will give you that instant like hit to your brain that I've been getting. That I just like feel amazing in a way that I never did from running. Like, I guess there's a runner's high, but this is like a lifter's high. Like the feeling of the tension in your muscle. I'm really enjoying it. I intend to pursue this for quite a while because I'm enjoying it. It's making me happy.
Well, that's good. I suggest that you continue to do this, and maybe you want to relax on the bullying everyone else.
I'm not bullying
Jeff,
anybody.
I told you that. One of our friends told you that. Jeff just brought it up to you. Like,
You'll know if I'm bullying. Yeah, you'll know if I'm bullying.
Oh, really?
The way, honestly, the way you phrase it, like out of the gate, like just the way your tone.
Well, but look, I also know that you even lift, bro, is a thing, like a meme that flies around. So I was being a little tongue in cheek about it. But like, you don't even lift. No. But seriously, you should lift. It'd be good. It's good for everybody. You should lift. Look, I'm over there lifting the barbell with no weights on it. Like, it's not like I should be cutting an intimidating figure to anybody. And once I'm feeling now confident enough that I can put the 10-pound plates on each side and do it without a spot or without it crushing me.
I need you, as I kind of indicated before, like you need to now accessorize your lifting, gloves, shoes.
Well, I want to, but I've gotten
the
conflicting
works.
information.
You now need
Some
the
people
works,
say,
bro.
I agree. Some people say you should not get the gloves. And other people say you definitely should get the gloves. Like I tore my hands up not having the gloves.
Well, try it. Maybe you'll like them.
Well,
maybe
but people have said that you shouldn't wear gloves. And then like the shoes, what shoes do I get? And like
support
what are the
belt?
protein
Like I
powders
need to
that I
see to
need?
the nines here.
I feel the same way, but again, I have that little bit of panache in me that I'd like to have the right gloves and the right shoes and the right kit to do lifting. But I get the sense that maybe I shouldn't. This is where I'm confused. I'm still a newbie. I'm still a stranger in a strange land.
It is like it is fun, I think, to get. I can't remember the last time like I got a bug for something new, but like that feeling of like falling in love with something and like just wanting to go back, like golfing, like just something like that, like catching like the bug. I don't know. That seems like
honestly,
I don't know.
you collecting
a
Herbert
bug
cards
for
is
something
my
new in a
lifting.
while. I'm pretty boring.
You collecting cards.
Oh, that was yeah.
That was a bug.
I guess so.
Now I've got the bug for lifting. And you used to say you should collect cards. Oh, you know what? You invest all your money in all these things that don't hold any value, but I collect all these valuable
I
cards.
didn't say you should collect cards.
Jeff never once said that though.
I
Jeff
said that
basically
like
said,
spending.
you don't
Oh,
even
hold
collect
on. Did he basically say something? So you interpreted what he said that way? Like that's why you're the insane
Jeff basically was saying to me week after week, do you even collect, bro? When we would talk about the Monopoly pieces that I'd be going for to win
I said
versus his card collecting. And now the shoe is on the other foot.
I said that the cards are probably better way to spend the money than the Monopoly. I would.
And yet when I say
said.
I think lifting's probably a better way to spend one's time than walking on a treadmill, I get upbraided. Or lifting is a better way to spend one's time than, I don't know, reading up on red.
Well, you were the
stuff.
one who said that lifting is better than walking on a treadmill.
Well, it is.
Is it?
For me.
Is
for
it?
me.
I mean,
for me.
You're the same guy who said that when you do the Stairmaster, that your heart rate gets up to like 200.
It used to get over 200. Now it's at 185.
Well, like I said, maybe you should be doing some more cardio to get that heart, like get your cardiovascular system working a bit better.
But like weights are a type of cardio.
It's not
They're
that.
getting my heart rate up.
But it's not. I get that your heart rate is getting up, but if you want to like maintain, like if you want to peak out around like 170, 175, you're gonna have to increase your cardio.
Sure, I appreciate that, but I feel like I need to get stronger first before I can do that.
Okay, I can see that, and we'll see how that goes, and then we'll have our race. How about that?
Oh no, you'll beat me. You'll be fast. You'll be faster than me. I'm not doing this to outdo other people.
Well,
Like,
I mean, but then why are you challenging Jeff of whether he lifts or not?
I didn't challenge.
That's
Jeff.
what you did with our friend as
Jeff.
well.
I simply asked him whether he lifted,
What is the point of that question?
just to see if they were lifting.
Yeah, you seem pretty braggadocious about this.
There's nothing braggadocious. I said I'm over there lifting the bar on its own. There's
Yeah,
nothing
and
to brag.
now you're trying to backtrack it, Jeff. How did you take it? Because I took it one way when he asked everyone else that we know.
Yeah, no, there was definitely like a condescending attitude and a level of superiority.
Then I
those
retract
that
that
do
attitude. I
lift.
don't. If that's the case, if that's how it was interpreted, I retract it because I don't want to seem that way. I'm a man of, for, and by the people.
You,
So I don't want
you
to
sound
be
like
that.
typical gym guy that everyone hates. That's now the tone in language that you've adopted.
Yeah, pretty much. And I've done not like most people. I've done nothing but congratulate you and feel proud for you for this
And I say thank you.
this new like step and what
Yes.
seems to be maybe a long-term like life thing for you.
Yeah, and all you're trying to do is shit on everyone who's trying to prop you up.
That's not true. That's not true.
It's what it sounds like. I mean, the viewers
It
will know.
appears
The
this has happened-
The viewers have just heard you talk about this, and it sounds like you're just trying to shit on people.
No, I'm not.
It appears you have taken this approach both to a teleconference, in text, and in real life with your friends on the weekend. Like there's a consistent approach here to how you are coming across, it seems.
Maybe, and if that's the case, then I retract them. But I'm proud of myself for lifting, and I'm
proud of you.
enjoying it so much that I think other people should too. Because if I like it, they'd like it.
Well, that might not be the case.
I am the common man. If I like something, other people are probably going to like it too.
All right.
I don't know that people are calling it that.
People can search CUST Corner on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts to get the CUST Corner exclusive feed, which is nearing being caught up to real time with CUST Corner. But the first 22 episodes, full length, of CUST Corner are up that now. And if you are listening to this show right now, video-wise, audio-wise, we need some more reviews on Apple Podcasts. You don't even need to review it. Just go down and rate it 5 stars if you can. Be generous and leave a review. That would be awesome, but it takes like less than 30 seconds. We need to really boost this up. We're doing some ad sales, at least I'm doing some ad sales in about 3 weeks, and those ratings and review really do help. So if you have it in your heart, maybe I'll do some giveaways for it. Even if you do it this week, you'll qualify for it, but maybe we'll do that to really enhance those numbers so I can get some bigger ad sales numbers. But please rate and review on Apple Podcast and Spotify. That would help out a lot. What did you want to talk about?
It's November sweeps. It's November sweeps for the podcast world.
Well, it's not.
It's a thing.
Well, it's not. November sweeps is actually when the shows air. I'm doing my next year ad sales now.
That's good enough. I'm going with it.
All right. What do you got for CUST Corner?
2 things. The first thing is I am very concerned that the Bluetooth in my car has been jailbroken or hacked or something. Because when I turn my car on, my phone immediately tells me where I'm going to go, and it doesn't know where I'm going. I turn the car on Sunday afternoon, and it knows, it says in my driveway, it is 13 minutes to the address of the Mayo studio. Or if I go get coffee on my break, I turn the car on, and it says, you are 8 minutes away from where I go get my coffee. And like, I'm getting very nervous. Like, has my Bluetooth in my car been hacked? Like, how does it know? I'm freaked. How does it know where I'm going?
I have a list of questions for you. 1, you still don't really seem to understand why. Let's say I hacked your Bluetooth, but I'm pretty sure it's impossible. What would that do if I hacked your Bluetooth? Why do you think
then you would know where I was going?
But why would your Bluetooth tell you? Obviously, your phone is telling you that.
Yeah, but my phone never told me that before in my old car. It only told me it since I synced up my phone to the Bluetooth in my new car. So the Bluetooth.
When did you update your iOS? Because my phone actually gives me push notifications now for this.
I have no idea. I don't know. It does it on its own. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's a part of the new features of the 2 turns ago iOS.
I'm terrified.
Well,
how does it know where I'm going?
Okay, well,
how can it know?
You only go
hold on. I have more questions for Tim first before we give him the answer to this. 2, if someone hacked in to your Bluetooth, according to you, and you're the only person that knows where you're going, what would the hacker be telling it? You would be the only person who could hack it, right?
I don't understand. Like, I thought these things are supposed to collect just the metadatas, not the personal.
So sure. Do you know what metadata is?
Yeah, it's like the aggregate of data.
Do you have any idea what that means?
Yeah, like it's like a bundle of, this is where people shop for strawberries, and a bundle of, this is where people listen to music or the types of songs that they listen to. Like, it wasn't supposed to be individual. How does it know if I turn the car on Sunday at 1:00 that I'm going to your place? But if I turn the car on at 1:00 on Tuesday, it knows I'm going to get some EMMs. Like, how does it know that? How can it know that? It has to have been jailbroken or hacked or I don't know what. But if according
phishing, yeah, you can get phished for sure. That's going to happen to you at some point. We know this. But let's go with your theory that it's been hacked. Who else besides you knows where you're going?
Nobody. But yet they know.
So Jeff,
how do they know?
Would you like to tell him, or do you think you should leave that to me? Because I know that you know.
I think you guys shouldn't even tell him what's going on.
Well, what's going on is it knows what I'm going to do before I even do it. I almost felt like,
how can it be hacked? How can a third party tell you where you're going?
Tim, this might sound crazy.
Yeah.
But today, when I turned my car on and it said it was 8 minutes to whatever place to get my coffee, I defiantly went in the opposite direction to go to a different place for coffee. just to throw the hacker off the trail. Because clearly that's what they're expecting from me. And I don't know why or how, but I'm getting very worried about this.
Do you know who you sound like right now?
You don't actually, I do know what, but it's actually happening to me.
So can you tell the people, the person that I don't even need to you know who you sound like, you can tell the people.
Yeah, we used to have a university professor who believed that the KGB and CSIS were tracking him. And so would take a different route home from the office every day, or so as to not be tracked by, whatever secret agent from the Soviet Union was after him. But like, I'm obviously being tracked because they know that I'm going to certain places at certain times of the day. I turned my phone on, I turned the car on yesterday. It knew I was going to the gym to lift. Like, how does it know that? How can it know? So
here's the thing. I'll tell you, but you have to promise not to be shocked. Do you know who is tracking you?
I assume it.
It's you. You're the person who's tracking you, you moron. You go to the same you go to the same places at the same time every single day. You have the GPS turned on your phone, and it's sending you a reminder to be helpful to you because you always go to the same places.
Well, why would that be helpful? Or do I need instructions on how to get to Tim Hortons from my house? I could do it blindfolded. I don't need that help.
Well, it actually tells you the traffic report, too, if you actually listened to it and opened it.
No, I immediately try to close it and block it because I'm afraid that I'm being like jailbroken.
You're not. You are just the most predictable person on earth. For example, my phone tells me at 8 o'clock every morning when I walk out to my car, the traffic report between me and where I drop my kids off to go to school. Because I do the same thing every single weekday at the same time.
See, now that's why I would shake up the route so as to throw them off the scent.
You're throwing yourself off the scent, you idiot.
No, I don't want the trackers.
Okay, then turn off GPS on your phone. Make it easy.
But I need the GPS.
Oh, do you now? It doesn't sound like you want their help at all.
Why do you need it?
Well, there are places that I go outside of my comfort zone where I need
just
to
turn
go
it on when you go to those places.
I don't know how. Look, I don't know how to do that. Okay? I don't know how. Are you happy?
You are bringing a tracking device with you everywhere that you're allowing to track you by having it on and using the GPS and then going mental and not realizing that you're the one who's doing this to yourself.
But I didn't think they were tracking my individual movements. I thought they were just having an aggregation of metadata to sell that.
Who do you think is tracking you?
Apple.
No, your phone is tracking you that you're bringing with you in order to be helpful.
Well, my phone is an Apple, so it is Apple who's tracking me then.
Sure.
And they sell that data to big companies.
Why are they selling the data?
To other companies.
Are you sure that they're selling that data of where you're going 24/7?
They must be selling it to so that advertisements can be sent out, that people who go to these certain places would be interested in knowing about, certain deals or sales so that they would spend their money there. I assume that's what this was all about.
Well, I mean, that would be actually super genius, and I would really enjoy that. I never understand why people get so upset about targeting ads. I love targeted ads. It just shows me ads for things that I actually want instead of things that I don't want. I'll buy stuff off Instagram. I don't care about that. It's great. I've got some great. Sure. You saw my fresh jacket the other night. Got that off Instagram. That's nice. I have no idea if they're selling your GPS location or not to anyone. I don't think that they are, but it's supposed to be helpful to you. You just don't want to accept the robot's help.
No, I'm freaked. I'm absolutely, totally, and that doesn't make me soft, by the way.
That
I get scared by the phone? Yeah. Well, I'm afraid of what it's now doing. It never did that before. Now it's like predicting my movements. This is like AI.
You're afraid of your shadow.
It's not that it's predicting your movements. I mean, I guess that it is, but maybe if you did things other than the 4 things you do throughout the course of the week, that maybe it's just telling you that you live a pretty predictable lifestyle, pal.
Well, no more than the next person.
I don't know about that. No, I would say that's probably wrong. Like it gets mine wrong all the time. Like whenever I get into my car at a certain time of day, it just assumes I'm going to the daycare. I'm not always going to the daycare. It's wrong. But I can look at it and be like, oh, I know where that's telling me where to go. And
no, this thing is right like almost
because you never do anything else.
Okay, but like, I'm scared.
And you think you're not soft.
Well, I just thought that somebody had like broken into the Bluetooth functionality of the phone of the car. Sorry, it was tracking my movements.
You know when morons go online and they're like, man, I know 99% of people agree with this, but I saw this thing on YouTube that says this. That's who you're starting to sound like.
No, I'm not sounding like that crazy person. I'm just saying I was freaked.
And we've just explained to you that there's nothing to be freaked out about. So now you don't need to be freaked.
That's still very discomforting.
Then turn off your fucking GPS.
I don't know how.
Well, it's funny. You called Geoff a crazy person because he searched the internet to try to find a Chargers press conference.
No.
On shut up! On every available video platform that there was. Because he put in the effort to try to find it. He couldn't find it. And then when he was going to go complain to people, at least he had exhausted his resources. If you just typed in, how do I turn off the fucking GPS on my goddamn iPhone, do you think fucking Google would tell you, genius?
I don't know. Sounds like Google is against me these days. They're conspiring with the phones and the Bluetooths to track me. I don't know, but yes, you're right, probably.
So why don't you just go do that right now?
I don't want to.
Would you say you scare easily?
Yes, I do scare easily. I'm very scared of change. Like I have been due for an update on my phone for almost 2 years, and I refuse to do it because I'm terrified of like losing all my contacts or like not backing things up correctly, and like, will I know how to work this new phone, and like, what will happen to all my apps, and like, the last time I did it, I almost lost Twitter forever, and
No,
so like,
that's not true. You changed your phone number.
Well, yeah, but I also got a new phone the same day.
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with you getting a new phone. If you just kept your number, everything would have been fine.
Yes, I found out at that point, which I didn't know until 2 years ago, that your phone number is attached to a chip rather than the actual physical phone that you have. I didn't know that. I know it now. I'm aware of it now. I'm not a dummy, but I didn't know it then. What? There's nothing weird about it. Like it's like when you were younger, if you moved houses, then you got a new phone number.
Yeah, you got a new landline. You got a completely different number.
So you got a new phone. You got a new phone number. I thought that's how it went.
No, because if you had got okay, let's say you had the old rotary phone in your house, in which you probably do because you're
we do.
Of course you do. Let's say you 35 years ago you updated with the times and got like a cordless in your house. If you had just plugged that cord into the new phone, you would have kept the same number. It had nothing to do.
Yeah, that's correct. No,
it has nothing to do with the phone.
No, but I just thought the cell phone is like the house in this analogy. At least that's where my brain was going. But I know that's not true now. I know there's a little tiny microchip that you slide in.
A SIM card.
Right? SIM card, yes. A SIM card, yes. Yes, I know that now.
Yeah, like I got grandfathered into a really good plan when I lived in the States that I just kind of keep updated. Right now, it's like unlimited data. It's on a friend's package as well, so I can kind of leech off of it whenever I want. So I have an extra SIM card that I have with me that whenever I go to the States, I just pop in the new SIM card, and all of a sudden I have an American number, and I'm not charged like roaming and shit like that.
Although, well, yeah, but I have that like spend $5 a day and use your phone like normal package.
Yeah, that's not even a thing anymore. You can just buy like worldwide data now. That's
maybe. I haven't traveled internationally in quite a while. I'm not much for traveling.
Yes, well, we know that, and you're not much for looking things up that scare you.
Well, just it perturbed me to see that the car knew my movements.
The car doesn't know where you're going. It's all coming from your phone. But it only
comes on when the car gets turned on.
Because it knows you're leaving, because you're going to your car. You've connected with the Bluetooth. Therefore, it's the signal from the car being like, oh, your phone's like, oh, yo, you're traveling somewhere right now. Please, let me try to help you out to make this an easier drive for you. But you're like, well, how does it make it easier? You're like Michael Scott. You're like, no, I'm not listening. I'm going to drive straight into the lake. I'll show it.
No, that's not what's going on.
Oh, really? Does that not sound like what's going on?
No, it's just weird to have some computer predict your movements when you're like, oh, I think I should go to Tim Hortons for a coffee. And like, I don't know that I do it every day, but like
I get 1,000, you said.
But it bats out like 1,000. Like it knows what I'm going to do before I'm going to do it.
crazy.
But
So
it
afraid
doesn't.
it might even-
But it doesn't know what you're doing before you're going to do it. You're walking out to your car knowing where you're going to go, and when you sit down, it's like, oh yeah, that is where I'm going, because you only go to 3 places.
I go to more than that, but still, it's just very.
You just follow the
Very
pattern. Did you have something else? Because I saw that there are new episodes of Storage Wars starting tonight, which I'm going to be watching after this, and Barry is back on Storage Wars.
So I did, but it's an evergreen thing. So really, so this is what I'm excited about. Barry was by far the best character on the show. And I mean, we went through a stretch where we watched Storage Wars every single day on television. And so I am very excited for new Storage Wars.
If you had to guess, what year do you think that Storage Wars first debuted in?
2008? 2009?
2010 was the first year. It's been 14
Okay, so I wasn't too
seasons
far
now.
off that.
And you have your doppelganger on Storage Wars. You are the poor man's Renee from Storage Wars.
No, I'm not. I in that fact, that's when we
Paul,
stopped.
find a picture of Renee from Storage Wars, and you throw it up. That is Tim Andercust.
That's when we stopped watching the show, basically, when the core 4 left. I remember you told me a couple of months ago that Brandy isn't married to Jared. I couldn't believe that. I thought they were married. Like they were like, that was like, but they did.
No, they have 2 kids together, but it was just sort of like an act for the show that they were still together because they wanted to stay on the show. Barry was actually involved in a very serious bike accident in 2019.
That's why he left.
I don't know. I mean, he's been gone for like 5 years from that show.
Yeah, he's been gone longer than that. Yeah.
But he was in a very serious accident, so apparently he's doing much better now. I love Barry. Barry's great.
Barry's the best.
He's
with
the
those,
collector.
With those gloves. The best thing about Barry is he doesn't really care what it's worth because like it's cool to him. And like Barry's got that like rich guy persona, which is really cool. That it's like he's not one of these rich guys who's trying to maximize every single penny out of every single transaction and trying to plus EV everything.
No, because he's
like that.
Because he's so rich that he no longer cares at this point.
That may be, or he's just wealthy enough that he gets that like life is worth living, and who cares if that looks nothing like me.
Are you
That
sure?
looks nothing-
You need to get a buxom babe wife like Renee. Maybe when you're the
Jeff's
rich man's
not paying
Renee, you can get some babe wife.
Jeff's not even paying attention.
Jeff, do you see this?
Oh, I knew exactly. I don't even watch the show a ton. I knew exactly who you were talking about when you said there's a guy on the show looks like Tim.
Looks nothing like me. Nothing like me. Are all the old guys back? Like is Hester back? And
I don't know. Hester's been back on the show. I don't know if I need to see any more.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need to see any more Daryl in my life and just everything's more. That's a $30 bill right there. Like it's funny.
There was something charming about Daryl. He brought that like good old boy country mystique to this show. Whereas like, Hester brought the sort of hard-nosed trader, hard-nosed sort of like shop owner who's out to squeeze every penny that he can in order to maximize his store. And like there's a role for that person. And then Brandy and Jared were sort of like the upstart young couple trying to make their way in the Storage War games. And like maybe one day could be in Hester's spot. And then you had Daryl, he had his store and he's smarter than he seems, but he's got that sort of good old boy approach and says silly stuff and has an eye for deals. And then there was just Barry, who is somewhat affluent, and that looks nothing like me. Nothing.
That's half you, half Randy from Trailer Park Boys. That's quite the tan that guy's got going.
It looked like Alex Jones after he took that pill that was supposed to make him look healthier. He just got redder.
I mean, you got Alex Jones vibes to you.
No, I don't. Anyway, Storage Wars was a perfect reality television show. Now I know
because it was completely rigged.
It wasn't completely rigged. It wasn't. Now I remember reading that the auctioneer had a heart attack, and I don't know whether he's still with us or whether he recovered or what. I used to like those guys too. The whole show was great. I loved that show. That show was peak TV. Like the fact it didn't win like Emmys and stuff is outrageous because it was really enjoyable, smart TV that like the whole family could enjoy. It wasn't like off color. There wasn't a lot of profanity.
It was completely off color. All Jared ever talked about was trying to bone Brandy. That was their like entire bit.
No. It was said in like a Three's Company way, where it was like funny and innuendo, and nothing was ever said that would be inappropriate to say. I loved the show. I'm delighted to hear it come back.
I love the show too, but to say it's smart TV is ridiculous. It is something that you can throw on in the background and be like, "What the hell did that guy just say?" and just kind of keep watching it, or not. Watch it. It can just be on in the background. That's what kind of makes it a great show. I'm a big Renee fan. It's like why you're my friend. You remind me of Renee. Maybe that's the reason that we're such good friends. Also, they have Ivy who comes on who doesn't seem like he has a clue what he's doing. I like the characters on Storage Wars.
I'm out on all the characters that aren't the original characters. I don't know them. They're not a part of the show to me. Like when Cousin Oliver joined the Brady Bunch. It's like, I guess he was on the show, but like, wasn't that important?
I mean,
Tim, did you ever watch Below Deck?
Do I watch Below Deck?
Did you
yes,
ever?
I watch Below Deck. I love Below Deck.
I'm
such a Captain Sandy fan.
Because it's a way better reality show than Storage Wars.
It's a great show. Now,
way better than Storage Wars.
Let's be honest. The quote-unquote yachts that they usually drive are a little underwhelming compared to real yachts.
No, they're not the yachts Jerry Jones
right. Yeah, like if you went to the Monaco Grand Prix and someone tied up that yacht in the marina.
But I think they like a yacht that's big enough to like get... Like, it's a yacht that's big enough where they can get a large cast of characters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's functional.
Because if you have the super yacht, then you're like the super yacht. There's only so few people who would actually be able to rent those in the first place.
Yeah.
No,
and,
you make it.
And the people who would be rich enough to rent the mega yachts wouldn't want to take a discount on a yacht to go on TV to be on a yacht too. You know what I mean?
So it's like a big enough yacht where like people who are like wealthy and have means and maybe a level of disposable income, but they're also like low enough grade where it's like perfect for them.
Put it this way: like, if eight of us went in on it, I'm pretty sure we could get a below deck yacht.
Let's do it.
I think we could, but you know, I always kind of wanted to be a yachtsman.
Oh my god!
I thought I'd have been very good at like I could have worn the white blazer and the cap and the ascot, and you know, pulled the jib and said draw here and draw there, and you know, I think yachting would have been something I'd have been quite good.
You're an expert at everything. We've been through.
No, I'm not an expert, but I think I would have been a good yachtsman. And I have a passion for yachts in some ways. And so,
have you ever been on a yacht?
Yes, during the tall ships, there were yachts, actual yachts in port that I got to walk around. Now, the thing is, though, what I take umbrage against is people who, you know, have, I wouldn't call them beaters, but like quote unquote boats that they call yachts. That, let's be honest, those aren't yachts. They're nice little boats. I guess it's fine. Like they're not bathtubs. They're not like dinghies or whatever. But yeah, they're not yachts. Like these things on below deck are nice. I guess it's the Mediterranean. You think there'd be like really nice yachts, and I'm sure there are. It's an okay yacht. Like it's a serviceable yacht. It's not the sort of yacht that, like, I don't know, Aristotle Onassis would have owned.
So we can rent the below deck yacht for $140,000 for a week. I'm not saying that we have. Listen, I'm not saying that we're just going to go blow $140,000. So
that's the Mayo Media Network wrap-up party for this year
on the below deck yacht. We'd have to get some good advertising, but I think you get a break out of it for being on TV. But then you probably have to leave like a $50,000 tip as well on top of it. I think that's kind of how it works. If you get, you know, decent service on the yacht for the crew. I mean, if we could pull our money together, if that's the one thing that we did in a year, we could do it.
We could definitely do it. But again, if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I want to go on an actual yacht.
They don't want you. They don't want Cam. You're going to rob them blind of their sheep.
I don't know that we'd make very good TV either.
No. That's probably true, isn't it? Do you have a preference between Captain Lee and Captain Sandy?
I'm on Team Captain Sandy, 100%.
Really? I thought you would have enjoyed how gruff Captain Lee is.
Captain Lee's fine, but Sandy, I think, is both commanding, but also really engaging with her staff, and I think she's great. Like, she's the sort of captain you'd want to run through a wall for if you were a yachty. I got a couple of topics, and you can tell me which one you want to talk about. I'm basically setting myself up to be a barista, and I wanted to talk about hot dogs. So which of the two would you like me to tackle?
Well, we can kind of we can just dispel the barista thing for a second. Geoff, Tim bought an espresso because Bronstetter told him to, and now he's like, I drink the fanciest coffee in the world. Now, I own an espresso. I think that they're great, but I don't think I'm on some sort of upper echelon of making coffee. I just press a button.
Well, but I'm also getting a milk frother too.
We have
that goes with the package.
Yeah,
and like Bronstetter didn't tell me to get it. He just, when I mentioned that I was interested, he was very encouraging, has been very helpful, giving me some advice about sales and whatever.
And he's done his research. He's a good guy to buy a product after he's owned it, because he's thorough. He is very thorough, so he will know the market. And yeah.
So I ordered a bunch of coffee pods. Capsules, as they're called. Pods are for curing people. We use capsules in Nespresso. And I've got that. I've got a milk frother. And I'm going to now make my own cappuccinos and make my own espressos and lattes and flat whites and all that stuff.
You're going to make did you say you're going to make your own flashlight?
Flat white. I'm going to make my own flat whites as well.
Yeah, don't stick your dick in that. It'll be too hot.
Oh my goodness gracious! Please.
That's why you want the flashlight.
Please, let's not talk about. Stop it! This is all too vile. I was trying to talk about coffee. So I'm basically going to be like my own personal barista. I'll be able to make my own cappuccinos and my own lattes. Now I'm starting to look at where's some good places to buy some demi-tasses and some various those glass cups that you drink certain things out of. And so I've been sort of scouting where usually, and by that I mean basically the Bay, where I can find good quality items to purchase to go as accessories for my new coffee machine, my Nespresso and frother. So yeah, I'm gonna be a barista essentially for myself.
This is another example of you taking a step and a half, but then thinking you're an expert.
I'm not an expert yet. I have a lot to learn, but in 2 weeks' time after this thing arrives, I'm going to be kind of an expert.
So you're literally everyone has this. My wife has this. She froths the milk. She has her Nespresso. She doesn't think she's special. You're the last adopter of this. And then you think you've A, discovered something, and B, think you're advanced. You're not.
Really? Everybody has an espresso machine in their house. Is that your contention? You talk about elitism and being out. Of course, you think that it's
not everybody, but you're a late adopter. You're very in the technological phrasing of this. We are at the late adopter stages of Nespresso.
That's fair, but I think I still don't think. Would you say 5% of households have an Nespresso?
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But I'd say a lot of the people that or interact with probably
honestly,
do.
It makes me a barista is somebody who makes coffee. So you know what? If I make my own cappuccino and I learn to make those little designs that you see on the TikTok on top of
I would like to. I want to see this. You make your own designs.
I could do it. How hard can it be?
Again, obviously, take one step. You're literally an expert in everything.
I'm not an expert yet, but
your MO.
Yeah, he gets it in 2 weeks, Geoff. So how long till you're designing your?
Well, 2 to 5 days delivery, I believe, is what the website said.
All right. So how long until you can make your own patterns in the foam of the cappuccino?
I feel like it's going to take me a week or so, and I'll start with simple ones like smiley faces and lightning bolts and stars and circles and swirls, but then I'm sure I'll learn to get more complicated and make I don't know, like sports logos or something.
You will never.
Like lightning bolt. I can make a Chargers lightning bolt logo. I bet in the
no, you can make a lightning bolt, a vertical one, but I guarantee you couldn't make this one. That's very pointy and annoying.
Anyway, so I'm just really proud of myself.
For doing you didn't do anything. You bought a product.
That's what I'm saying. You bought a product that so many moms and grandmas and
stop ruining it for me.
What am I ruining? Hold on. You already just took a shot at curing people. What's the difference in price in that? $50?
I couldn't tell you.
You are acting like you bought a $10,000 cappuccino machine. You bought an espresso.
I bought a cappuccino machine, but it's also an espresso machine, and it's also a coffee machine, and it's also a flat white machine, and it does everything at an economical price. And like you can get all these elite like coffees that I was looking at on the website.
You don't need to tell me. I have one.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm actually in the Nespresso Club now. Like I signed up to be in the Nespresso Club.
So you reserve the right to have your email overflowing with Nespresso stuff?
Well, I want those emails. I was like, that's really cool because I want to see all the new various coffees that are coming out so I get my hands on them.
I don't drink this stuff. And I know like they're very hoity-toity, like with where you can buy it. So like packages of it just arrive at my house.
Yeah, you have to set up an automatic online delivery, or else you have to go to the actual Nespresso place to go buy the pods.
Which I actually would prefer to do. To be honest with you, I'd like to go look at the pods myself and like get a look at them.
I'm Tim. I can design artistry on the top of a coffee
How
in a
hard
week's
would it be to
time.
draw, like-
I can't figure out how to auto order pods online.
I'm sure I could auto order, but I don't want to auto order because there's so many different types of flavors and things that I want to like experiment with the different stuff. And I know what I get really good at. Maybe I'm better at making cappuccinos in this machine than I am at making lattes. I don't know.
What do you mean make? You press a fucking button on the top and it makes it for you.
You also got to froth the milk in the right way, and then you got to make sure you get the ratio right between the milk and the espresso and stuff. So there's lots to learn. I am by no means an expert yet, but I feel like
you act like one and you talk like one.
And I'm going to be like a junior barista. Like, will I be an expert? No, but I'll sort of be like a self-made man. Like I'll sort of know more about it than the average Joe. And I'm proud that I'm learning this. And I mean, you guys can poo-poo it and say, oh, you're not really accomplishing anything. I think I've accomplished something here.
Jeff. No.
And I bought it online, which I think is also an accomplishment.
Everyone else does this.
But I don't buy things online. I did.
Did you have to put your credit card online?
Yes, and my heart beat it out of my chest
I did it. I'm gonna text that scammer that's always trying to get me to click on phishing links through my text messages to tell him that you're finally available online. Sorry, your identity, it's been stolen.
Well, my phone's already been hacked through Bluetooth, so what else is new, right?
Jeff,
or whatever.
The day that Tim switches from Velcro to laces on his shoes, can you imagine the amount of bragging he's going to do?
Stop it. Just stop it. I just wanted to bring up that I'm going to become like an amateur barista. That's all. Because that's what I'm going to be.
You're literally just saying I'm making toast. Does that make me something? What does that make me? I'm making toast.
No, making toast is not the same as being an amateur cook. But look.
Yes, it is. Well, why is that any different?
Well, it's not quite the same type of...
I'm putting it in. I'm hitting two buttons. I'm eating my toast.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
I'm an amateur chef because I had soup for lunch. I made my own soup, Tim.
I'm scouting out the right type of like glass cups for lattes and for and espressos and the demi-tasses. And like I'm going to have all the little tiny spoons that you can use to eat the crema with or whatever. Like I'm very excited to sort of like really accessorize this whole coffee making experience to being sort of this amateur barista.
I feel like we're at the point where if we lived closer and hung out, you would go shopping with my wife. And you'd like leave me home to like watch the game.
No, I like to shop on my own, but as also a part of the mall walks or whatever.
Amateur barista. Now, I can make you a professional barista. I know a guy who owns a Starbucks.
Oh, and I know people who are actual, like, or used to be legit baristas. And I'm never going to be to that level. I haven't got that type of skill or even the time to learn.
You don't have the type of skill to do the same job as someone who works at Starbucks, but you're going to be doing artisan work at the top of your coffee.
Well, for very, very limited artisan work. Like, can I make a 3-leaf clover? Sure, I'm sure I could do that.
I don't think you could.
And a smiley face. And I'm sure there's YouTube videos about how to like make designs with the frothed milk or whatever.
You know what? I am 100%. You are correct on that, and you can research it all you want. You do not have the motor skills. You're the same guy that just dropped a coffee cup on his arm and got bruised by it earlier today.
Well, it fell out of the cupboard. I just didn't expect it to fall like that. I guess it was poorly stacked.
So you don't have the proper like twitch reaction time to like catch that on the way down, but you're going to have the precision like a surgeon in order to do
not
this.
So much from you, but
you think you could even like ice a cake?
I have iced cakes. It's not that hard. First time I tried to ice a cake, I did it while the cake was still hot because I thought in my brain that it's hot, so the icing will go smoother. Sort of like a knife that's hot goes through butter more easily. Whereas it's the exact opposite with the cake. You want to let that thing cool down. before you frost it. So I learned that lesson the hard way.
Did
my cake just became a smashed up cake that was like a pudding with the icing mixed into it. That's how I ate it, because like I wasn't throwing it out because I made it and spent the money to make it, but also like the top all fell off and you tried to put the icing on the hot cake. So yeah, it sort of became like a big bowl of like trifle or pudding or whatever.
Jeff, I can't recall if I mentioned this to you on the show last week. So just I've been talking about it amongst my friends for like 2 weeks now because none of us can get over it. Did I tell you that Tim thought that his arms were stronger than his legs? Did I tell you that? Did we talk about that? That's so crazy.
That's
I didn't know
weird.
what was stronger. It didn't occur to me that my legs would be stronger.
Again, it's another one of these like common sense things that people I don't even think like they just know. You just can realize.
Well, I didn't know. Or if I knew, I just never realized. Like it just didn't occur to me.
All right. Well, let's jump to these second set of games. We flew through that. If we didn't spend 45 minutes every week on CUST Corner, then we can still get this in at an economical time.
The first half hour of the show, basically doing that.
There we go. Oh, and Jeff's mic check, Jeff's tech check, which I think is still. I keep hearing like big like in my ear, so I assume Jeff's.
I'm to talk about hot dogs because I have a fire take about hot dogs.
Do you want to save that for? Is it that hot dogs actually a Thanksgiving food? Because you can save that for the Thanksgiving show.
No, it's not that. We'll save it for the main slate show. I have to come up with the Thanksgiving one.
Send your CUST Corner Thanksgiving topics to both me and Tim on Twitter. Maybe we can crowdsource this one.
Please do, because I haven't got one off the top of my head. So please, people, send it to me. Okay, so before I tell my little story about the mall yesterday, I just want to provide a brief recap for people as to what's going on in Paul Shaughnessy's little poll. Not so much the poll itself, but the comments that are being made, which undercuts completely the argument being made that everybody is just trolling me by voting no. So it is 81 to 19 right now. And here are some of the comments people have made. For example, all the time in terms of eating over the sink. The sink, sure. Once a day, you mean? Another person, once a month, at least once a week. Another person says, eating pizza over the sink is Mensa because you avoid crumbs. You don't need any napkins. You can throw everything, the crust, right into the garbage underneath the sink if you don't like crust. Another person saying, definitely every now and then. Another person saying, you've got to eat chili dogs over top of the sink. Now, Paul's theory seemed to be because a lot of MMA people follow him. He's not surprised by the response, I guess. That's the way he's spinning it. But
someone did put into the comment section a news article of a poll that was run that says, Ray Rice isn't alone. 1 in 5 men admit to hitting their wives. So maybe 1 in 5 people are just crazy. But you're right. You were absolutely dead on. I was wrong at the beginning of the show.
Yes. Thank you. The point is that 1 in 5 people take this view. It's not, they weren't trying to fool me or make fun of me. And Paul's sort of scientific experiment, sort of like a trying to test it again to make sure that it's correct, proves that it wasn't a troll job. 1 in 5 people eat a meal at least once a month over the sink. Thank you, Paul, for running this experiment that we could test.
I think we got a more objective view at this. It is, so I guess maybe this is kind of the side that I fall on. As Paul was put up on the screen, only psychopaths would do this, which I agree with. Well, it just seems like anyone who doesn't eat over the sink views it as being one of the lowest things that you can do.
That may be the case, because obviously 80% of people are voting no. So 4 in 5 people are aghast at what's being said. That they're not aware that 1 in every 5 people, 1 in every 6 people do this. Now you think there's like a crazy ratio in this world of 20%. I think that's too high. But anyway.
I did click on a few of these people's names. And in their Twitter bios, do you know what they have? They have that QAnon, Wago, whatever it is.
Well, I mean, look, there is a contingent of, like I sent you that pyramid of conspiracies yesterday.
Well, why was Iran-Contra a conspiracy? Don't we know what happened with Oliver North and everything with that? They were just selling the guns to the Sandinistas?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why Iran-Contra was on there. I'm also not quite old enough to have been deep in the weeds on Iran-Contra. So I know the basic story of it, but I don't know all the ins and outs of it. But yeah, I mean, look, there is a contingent of crazy people or violent people or menacing people. But
which one do you fall
anyway,
into? Being one
none
of
of them. I'm normal.
Well, you're the 1 in 5. Which of those subcategories do you fall into? Probably crazy, right?
No, I'm not crazy. I'm one in 5 people eat over the sink, and I'm just glad that we've proven that point. Now, yesterday I had to go to the mall to pick up a gift. So I knew that I wanted a particular thing for Christmas to order for somebody. I ordered it, and they had to ship it in, and I made sure to ship it to the store because I didn't want it shipped to my house in case somebody saw what was being shipped to my house. So I go to the store to get the thing, and I give them the receipt and everything to show I am. It's like, here, we need you to sign right here. And the receipt comes out, and it says CUST sign here in 2 spots. And I didn't want to sign. I was like, I feel like I can't sign here because that's not me. And I knew that it was supposed to represent customer, but at the same time, I probably stood there for a good 30 seconds blinking and looking at that receipt, trying to decide whether I could bring myself to pick up the pen and sign that. And I did, so I could get my item. And that's when I realized. So it was the first thing I did when I got to the mall. It was so stupid. If you go to the mall to pick something up and you intend to be there for a while, don't pick up the thing you're going to pick up till you're ready to leave, because then you got to carry that bag around with you for the entire shopping trip.
Tim,
it's so
Tim,
Thanks, Brainiac.
Yeah, Tim, that falls under common sense.
Yeah,
No,
holy shit.
I was
You're
so
teaching
excited.
people this?
I was so excited to go into the store to get my order that I didn't even think that, oh man, I've got to carry this thing around now for the next hour everywhere I go.
Some rookie?
I felt like a rookie. Yeah. Anyway, so that's a tip to people as the malls start to get busier, that if you've ordered something into the store to pick up and you intend to do other things, don't pick it up till the end, even though it's hard to do. Like, it is hard to walk by a place you know you need to go in and do something with, just to go back later to do it. Like, that would drive me insane to walk by the shoe store knowing that I need to go back in the shoe store later. Like, should I just go in and get it done with? I don't know. Maybe no one else has this sort of feeling. Like, I don't like driving past places I need to stop before I go somewhere. I like to get things done when I'm by them. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying this badly, but if I see a store that I know I need to go into, I don't like doing other stuff before I go in there. I like to go in there and get it done. But you shouldn't do that. That's a tip for the people.
Cool story.
So you saw the word CUST on a receipt and then stood there open mouth and blinking.
Living the gimmick.
In the middle of a store. And you, to quote you from earlier, I'm unrattleable. True or false?
Well, I was just collecting myself.
You sound like, because you were too fucking rattled.
I was like, I didn't expect to see that. I was like, okay, what do I do here? I guess I've got to sign, because I couldn't explain to the person why I wouldn't want to sign. That would be crazy. But it felt wrong to sign too. I don't know. Just bothered me. Still bothers me. I'm still thinking about it.
So you're still rattled. You're perma-rattled.
Not rattled. It just bothered me.
Would you say that you're rattled or you're too fucking shook?
I wouldn't say either. I mean, that sort of stuff that bothered me. That was my story from yesterday.
Imagine being so soft that you can't walk by a store in the same mall that you're going to be remaining in and not feel like you need to pick up something. I don't know, man. Soft.
It feels wrong. I feel like I should go in and transact the business I need to transact, not walk by later and come by later.
It's literally on hold for you, man.
I know, but I feel like I should just go do it.
Why didn't you just go on?
It would be buying it.
Well, why didn't you just go on the TaskRabbit app and just go get someone to get it for you?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
He loves going to the mall. Why would he?
Exactly.
Well, it doesn't. It sounds like it gets him shook, and he doesn't even know how to navigate the mall. He sounds like a mall rookie.
Yeah, bandwagon mall guy.
Well, that's why I'm giving people advice. Look, I haven't been in malls a whole lot over the last 2 years. To be perfectly honest, it hasn't been really a thing a person can do a whole lot. But now that we can sort of get back to semblances of normalcy, and I went for a mall walk the other day as well. Like, it's nice.
Which is probably disgusting because they have limits, capacity limits,
No,
and
they
here
don't.
you are going on a walk.
No, they no longer have capacity limits.
Yeah, not here.
So
I don't actually care. I was just trying to be smarmy with Tim and bring down his mall walk. But yeah, all the jolly shoppers getting in your way of your brisk mall walk season, right?
it's doing. All the weekend warriors are starting to show up now. I mean, Friday is Black Friday. You know that everybody will be at the mall on Friday. They have special hours. I noticed that they're going to be open to accommodate the shoppers who want all the hot deals.
It seems so much more sensible to just buy all that stuff online.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a large contingent of people who like to
1 in 5 people who are morons.
who have always gone to the mall.
You mean the sink eaters? The sinkers.
Well, yeah, I don't think that there's a whole lot of cross connection between those of us who eat over sinks and those of us who like to go to malls. But
Did your gelato shops survive the pandemic?
no.
Oh no!
I feel bad.
Now you have to go to now
now
you have to go to Italy to get those gelatos.
I'm sure it'd be fine, but I liked the gelato. And this time of year, they have all the fun, like Christmas flavored gelatos are used to. Like, I really enjoyed those. Oh, there's an espresso store at the mall. That's the other thing I was really upset about. So, but it's just a kiosk.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? How is this not like a big store? Like that
It's
people
a
can
kiosk
walk
in like the Bay or something, right?
How is it like it was a kiosk in the middle of the mall? But like, I was legit angry that it didn't have its own space in a store with a special banner. Like, you could go into the store and look at stuff instead of like being a weird little kiosk outside of the stores. Like, no, this is big and important enough that it ought to be its own store. Why is it a kiosk? That really bothered me.
So
They're self-aware enough to know what they are, and it's just these transactional pods that most people just have the mail order system. Why pay mall storefront? I don't know. What do you mean?
Geoff, you need to unplug your mic and plug it back in again. We're getting the reverberation once again. There's something going on with your audio board over there. Yeah, why would you want to pay like? I mean, do you know how much? Maybe that's a game that we can play. How much does storefront property cost in the mall that you're looking at? It's the same Nespresso one we go to. However, now that you're into Nespresso, it never bothered you before that Nespresso had a kiosk in the mall.
Never noticed.
But now that you have an Nespresso, it bothers you. Thus, you know what this means, Tim? It's another example of what?
I don't know. Me being a main character?
Yes, you suffering from main character syndrome.
Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. You're right. I never even noticed the kiosk before because I wasn't in the Nespresso club. But now that I am, and I'm interested in these things, I saw it, and I was like, why isn't this a store? It should be a store. Because, like, I can't walk around and look at the merchandise as comfortably with a kiosk that I can in a store. Because, like, I was interested in what other kinds of accessories they could have that I could accessorize with. And I just didn't feel comfortable in a small kiosk setting doing that.
It's way fancier here. Like I feel like it's kiosks in the Bay or like Holtz or something.
So I haven't been to the Bay part to look at it, but that's my next. I mean, Bay days I think are coming up again soon, so I'll be there relatively soon. I think, even if they're not, I got to finish some Christmas shopping at the Bay, so I'll take a look to see what's there.
By the Bay, do you mean Subway?
No, like no. Although someone did tweet at me that the best time of year has begun again. And that the $25 gift card 6-inch sub deal is back on. So, Christmas is truly upon us now.
It's repulsive you give that to people.
Yeah, okay, sure. I don't want to talk about Subway again this week after what happened last week.
After you murdered its founder?
I didn't. No, I didn't. It just the poor fellow passed away after we brought it up last week.
Yeah, you murdered it. You may not have meant to do it, Tim, but you're a murderer.
I hope Mike White and Flacco
are okay. Yeah, me too.
Are okay.
Well, I just said I hope they are okay.
Well,
and
that's bad news for them.
And I know you're not watching it. You made a reference to Curb. I know you're not watching the season of Curb yet. This has been like one of the 3 funniest seasons of Curb ever.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of really great things about Curb. And it's not that I'm not watching Curb because I don't want to watch it. I'm just saving them all. I want to wait for the season finale to happen, and I'm just gonna like binge them all back to back because I get antsy with Curb. That once it's like a Lay's potato chip. That once you have one, I just can't stop. It's not one of those shows that I feel good about watching once a week. I want to watch them all at once, and like I'll spend an entire day doing it. And weirdly, I mean, if this was March through August, I would watch it every week because I feel like Curb would be more of like my daily conversation. But where football is going on and Sunday Night Football, it's just hard for me to get in on that. It's like my wife and I watch Succession on like Tuesday nights now, just because we don't have time to watch it on. So I'll be watching it tonight when we go through it. But like that's how I'm watching Succession, and just. Yeah, we have other shows that we're watching in real time that we'd already started before football that are still on, that are ending soon. So like Curb is just, and my wife doesn't love Curb. Not Seinfeld and Curb are not necessarily her wheelhouse in terms of her favorite type of like awkward, like mean-spirited humor. So it's one that I'm going to watch for me. And I'm excited to watch it. What you've said and what I've seen people say is that it's awesome.
And a lot of Vince Vaughn. And I know how much you like Vince Vaughn. There's a lot of Vince Vaughn this season.
I do love Vince Vaughn. Probably more than most, which is... Man, my Vince Vaughn stock is doing worse than my like DraftKings stock right now. It's not good.
No, well, certainly not as bad as your Ben Stiller show stock.
I mean, Ben Stiller show is one of the most decorated shows in history.
Yeah, I mean, for a show that lasted one season because nobody watched it.
I mean, do you know that no one watched it? Do you know what station it was on?
Fox.
I believe it was on MTV. It started on MTV.
Oh, did it? I thought it was on Fox.
Maybe it was. Maybe that season was on Fox. There was 2 Ben Stiller shows, by the way. Yes, it was on Fox. You are correct.
Yeah, I thought so.
Let's see.
I thought so.
Sketch comedy that aired on MTV from 90 to 91 and then on Fox in 1992. And then everyone in that show went on to be huge stars.
Okay.
I mean, who is a bigger, there's 4 main cast members on that show. Ben Stiller, Andy Dick, who was a thing for a while, Janine Garofalo, who was a thing for a while, and Bob Odenkirk. Those were the 4 people. It's a good cast. Judd Apatow won an Emmy for that show for writing it.
Yeah, other than Andy Dick, who I never really thought was funny.
Yeah, fair enough. He's probably like the least. I mean, he's pretty famous, but not for content.
No, for being on Celebrity Rehab like 7 times or whatever.
You should go on Celebrity Rehab.
I have nothing to be rehabilitated from.
Well, you got to get addicted to something.
Scratchies, Monopoly,
Coke,
lifting,
Diet Coke.
There's a lot.
The Jets. They can wean you off the Jets.
They go away on their own.
Diet Coke.
There's a lot you're addicted to.
Nespressos now.
The gym. Are you still lifting, or is that over now that you found Nespresso?
Oh, definitely lifting. Lifted yesterday.
How you feeling? You feeling stronger now?
Yeah, I think the term is swole.
Do you feel? Wow. Do you think that you're swole now?
I'm getting more swole than I was. I believe. I believe I'm using that word correctly.
After 3 weeks?
Yeah, I'm still loving it. Still taking my shakes before I go to the gym and after, and still following the regimen that was set out for me. And I'm feeling good. Like I'm feeling more energetic. I don't feel as lethargic or tired for no reason anymore. Like I'm feeling good about this lift life, and that coupled with this new Nespresso life, I feel like I've really turned a corner.
Are you still having that like super caffeinated powder thing before you go to the gym?
Total war, yes.
How much caffeine are you drinking a day now?
I have no idea.
Consuming.
I have no idea. Probably a lot.
Watch out on cardio days. Don't take that before cardio day.
No?
No. I mean, your heart rate's going to be you're going to go in with a super high heart rate as it is, and then you're going to go like sprint.
Yeah, that's fair, because I almost like am shaking after I drink that stuff.
Maybe you shouldn't be drinking that stuff if it's really causing that much.
Our friend recommended it to me.
I get that he recommended it to you. He's also the same guy that... I don't want to say that. That's not fair. I don't want to out him like that. Semi-professional bodybuilder? Very big, put it that way, in terms of lifting weights.
I think I've got the body type that could be a bodybuilder if I wanted to be, but I don't want to be. I don't want to be the amount of commitment it would require to be a bodybuilder is just not one I want to make. But I think I have the frame for bodybuilding.
Do you now?
I think so. I think I do. But I mean, the dedication it would require, the singularity of purpose that it would require to be a bodybuilder, I think, is beyond my ken. But could I do it? Like, could I be a Mr. Olympia style person? I think, yes, that I have that capacity in me if I wanted to be, but I don't want to be. And I'm self-aware enough to know that I don't want to be in that direction.
Yeah,
But
just oozing with self-awareness from that one.
Body type to do it? Yeah, absolutely I do.
I would say that you more or less have the body type. You have the body type of like a Magnus von Magnuson in the world's strongest man competition. That's what I see you. Not that you're going to be like that, but like you have the big frame. I don't see you as a bodybuilder. Bodybuilder,
Like the mountain.
What's that? Yeah, like the mountain from Game of Thrones. Yeah, it's like you're very tall, you're very big.
Yeah.
You sort of look like a mountain man if you didn't bruise so easily and weren't super soft.
Well, I have that tissue paper skin.
Well, eat some more vitamin C, as you were told. How come you'll listen to the same guy who told you to take the caffeine powder before you go work out, but when he tells you to eat more vitamin C so you don't have paper thin skin, you won't do that?
Well, I don't want. How else am I going to get vitamin C other than by eating oranges? I guess I could take vitamin C pills, but I don't.
Well, you're already taking fucking caffeine supplements. What's the difference?
No, they're not supplements. It's a shake to get you fired up before you go to the gym so that you're energetic when you lift.
Do you want to know a fun fact about that stuff? It's a prank that we were pulling on you.
No, you're not pulling a prank on me.
It is. I mean, you have the powder in it. Do you know that is laced with so much cocaine?
No, it's not. You can get it at Supplement King. You're not fooling.
Yeah, but you didn't get it at Supplement King. You got it given to you, right? Already
Correct,
unopened?
but it was sealed.
Was it sealed? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, it was sealed, and I had to open the seal myself.
Tim,
You've been lifting for 3 weeks.
4
and
now.
you just fantasized about being Mr. Olympia.
No. No,
you just said he could if he wanted to be.
That's what I was trying to say. I don't want to be.
Yeah, if you wanted to be. Like, next week, we're going to come back. You're going to tell us, like, you booked a trip to Colombia to go find, like, your own beans. Like you're a Van Hoot or whatever. Like, I don't understand.
No, it's not going to be. Tim's not going to Colombia to find his own beans. Tim already found his bean. He gives it a flick like 5 times a day.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, you didn't want to talk about.
You got him on this powder, and now he needs to get to Colombia. He's got him addicted.
Well, yeah,
get it at the Supplement King.
What if that goes out of business too? Because you started shopping there, like every other place that you go to.
I used to shop at the DNC all the time, and then it went out of business. I almost feel like there's various topics we could talk about.
Okay, we're not. Okay, can I throw this out? We are not talking about parkour with you. We're just not doing it.
Well, that wasn't what I was going to bring up.
Okay, because I will settle that, because I saw you put that on Twitter, whether parkour is hard or not, and whether or not you could do it. You are the same person who can't walk down the fucking steps at his house because they're too icy.
So Paul's put it up. I never talked about me once in the tweet, by the way. I just said, is parkour as hard as it looks, or could the average person pick it up quickly? And I ask, is it as hard as it looks? Because I've been watching some of the TikToks and the YouTube vids of people doing parkour, and some of the stunts seem so outlandishly dangerous that I figure, like, no one's actually taking these type of risks, and it actually must be like a magic trick, or there's some sort of prestidigitation going on here, where it actually is kind of easy because no one would take this type of outlandish risk to jump off a bridge onto a little pole or whatever. So I was just asking whether the average person could do parkour. I don't know. I really think that
the answer is no.
Could, but I am ignorant to this fact, and I was just asking questions online, and people went crazy about it, saying, "Oh, you think you can do parkour?" Oh, no, I didn't say that I could do it.
Well,
other people then.
What do you think that the point of putting that out was, Tim? Did you just want the attention?
No, I was curious as to whether this is as hard as it looks. It could be one of those things that's actually a little easier than it looks, or it could be like, as you always claim, American Ninja Warriors, like fixed, that it's actually not as hard as it looks at all, that it's all produced, that people aren't actually jumping off bridges onto poles.
Oh, hold on. I actually never said that. People are doing the American Ninja Warrior stuff. It's just, it's fixed. It's like wrestling. People are still doing the wrestling stuff.
Well, but they are and they aren't. Like, they're not actually making actual contact with people's heads with stuff. Like, they know how to throw fake punches or whatever.
That's not how that's not what happens in wrestling, by the way.
Sometimes it does. Anyway, we don't have to talk about parkour. I'm just asking questions of whether I think the average person could do it. I also didn't assume myself to be the average person in terms of that physicality. I was just asking if it's as hard as it looks, and people went wild over that. I wanted to talk about somebody on this show who said something so outrageous that it made my blood boil. And it came up because somebody tweeted, I can't remember, I may have been Levitan, I can't remember who said that the 12-hole match between Brooks and Bryson was great because golf should only be 12 holes anyway. And then somebody on this show who's wearing Tiger Woods' sweater at the moment, for those of you just listening to the audio only feed, said, I don't agree with you. 14 is the perfect number for golf holes. And it's just such a ludicrous statement. And I assume the reason has to be that Geoff gets tuckered out walking up the 14th fairway and just, I'm close enough to the clubhouse. Golf should just really be over here anyway, because, who needs those last 4 holes? Like, can't
wait to rebuttal this.
Like, initially, sure, you can say that the setting of 18 holes was an arbitrary
You're
decision.
arguing against the sky right now. I'm just going to warn you, okay?
Yeah, but
once heads up.
Well, but once it's set, that's the number. Okay, but were you just saying things to say things online by saying you think that golf should only be 14 holes long? Like, you'd like to destroy the entire history and the rhythm and everything to do with the game and all the courses that have built around the world to satisfy what, you being tuckered out after the 13th green? Like, explain to me how you, someone who loves golf, and I know you do, could possibly make that statement. Gee, I wish NFL games ended after the 3rd quarter. That's not football, right?
Hold on. I actually want to jump in here because Geoff is still losing his mind laughing about this.
Because he knows so much.
Geoff isn't insinuating that professional golf events be less than 18 holes, but I kind of agree with him. Like, there are certain courses around here that sell packages. Like, when you buy it, you don't necessarily buy a round, you buy 18 holes. And if you only want to play 12 that day, you can go play 6 the other day. Some people just don't have time.
So
finding five hours to go play golf, a lot of people can't do that. Some people want to play 7 if that's all they can get in. Maybe they can't play 9. Maybe they have a little bit more time but can't play 18. They want to play 13. I see no problem with that.
This is such a bigger, I think, discussion in many ways. And I don't even know. I'm one of these people. I am the most adaptable chameleon on the golf course you've ever met. But my buddies want to like play the hardo version, or you end up with a guy at your club or something who, like, God forbid you step in his line. Like, I'm very self-aware, like I want golf to be whatever people want it to be. No. I actually hate how Tim portrays it. Whatever you're into, I want you to do. I know there's a lot of courses now or newer developments, Tim, that whether it be land purposes are making like 12 or 14 hole courses and then sort of having a wraparound with just different tee boxes to potentially give some holes that you might play again, a different look. But I don't know. It's a long day. And if you want to play 7, you want to play 9, you want to play 12, you want to play 14. I don't know. I want everyone to choose their own adventure with what makes golf their thing.
No, but see, golf doesn't lend itself to that type of, free to be you and me lax. No, golf is a structured, rule-based, regimented.
I can't stand that. Like,
that is what golf is. To like golf is to like that part of it. Otherwise, you don't actually like golf.
No,
it's all part of it. All part and parcel of golf. You take it all or you don't take it.
No, because like sometimes, like I said, I'll play with like the most insane guys who like everything is by the book and they'll call anything. And then I'll play with my buddies who we're just ripping fatties on like the 7th hole and like greening out by 14. So like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. It could be whatever I want it to be on that day.
There's a big difference between deciding to play stroke and distance or not, and changing how many holes of golf that a round should consist of. These are not differences in degree. These are differences in kind. To say that it's the same as, I don't know.
I disagree. It's a long day. Some of these places people aren't, don't have to go a long way. I don't know. If courses wanted to accommodate people who wanted to just have time for 12 or 14, and if new layouts were sort of having those certain holes closer to the clubhouse than in previous designs, to make that more of an accommodation, I don't think that's horrible. I don't.
I think that's hideous. I don't want to live in that world. If you don't have the time, I get to play 9.
Yeah,
I want you to play whatever you want.
Maybe you can play a little bit more. Turn yourself down now a little bit, Geoff. Now you're really loud.
Then those numbers don't count towards your handicap.
Who cares, Tim? You don't even keep track of your fucking handicap. What do you care?
I kept track of my handicap when I was a member.
So 1 year in your life, you've kept track of your handicap.
I was a member at a course for like 4 or 5 years, then another course for a couple of years, and then another course for 1 year. So when I'm a member of a course, I do keep track of my handicap. It's just all courses are built in a particular way. Golf course designers think about the 18-hole layout and present you a course in a particular way to think your way through. And I don't like the idea of trying to short circuit that by saying, well, I'm just going to play 13 today. Like, that's sort of giving up. Like, if you can't make the full 18, play 9. That's fine.
Tim,
nothing wrong with playing 9. But like,
I'm a very I don't know. Everyone's circumstances are different, but I don't know. Some people you remember at a club, you got an hour, you hop in a cart, you play like 4 holes instead of like going to the range for 40 minutes.
Go to the range.
Why? Just go play 4 holes. Who cares?
It would drive me just crazy.
You are, but you are crazy, so that would make sense.
I would be so uncomfortable playing just 5 holes and leaving.
I've literally gone out, teed off the first hole, and then like 8 and 9 wrapped back to the clubhouse and done that while my parents were eating dinner one time, and I had to take a ride home with them. Like, I don't know.
That would just bother me. I'm sorry.
I guess.
And I'm just saying, want that to be the future of golf. I would like to see people adapt themselves to golf rather than golf feeling it has to adapt itself to.
But no one is stopping you from playing how you want. So what do you care?
I just don't like. Right now, they're not. But if you start relaxing the rules about how many holes a golf course, how many holes you should really play, like, it can lead to other things. Like, well, why do we have to have 9 and 18 rates? Why do we even have to have a true front 9 and back 9? Why can't the turn be at? But how about certain things we just don't change when it comes to sports that we play? You know what? Maybe you find the net irritating when you play tennis, so you should be able to take it down so that the ball. No, I actually think the net should always be there. I also think the number of holes that you play should be more or less static.
So what you're saying is that if you and I went out and played tennis and we played one set of tennis, like, you would be like, no, I'm not even going if we're only playing one set.
I would prefer to play a full match, but playing a full set for recreation is like playing 9, right? At least you're playing the full set.
I don't understand. Like, do you ever play baseball? Like, who played 9 innings?
Well,
you played until like the sun. You had like a time limit, and they said it can't start an inning past quarter to the hour because there's another game that's starting next. Like, what do you mean?
So you think that 14-hole golf is great? I don't.
No, I think whatever you want it to be. If you can get out, if the courses can accommodate, that's what I want. And I think the future might be more going that way. Now, you are very lucky. Golf is a sport, as you mentioned, that when I do get involved in the traditions, I'm here to uphold them. If I go to a place where it's required, I play by 100% the rules. And there'll be a lot of stuffy clubs, Tim, that you'll be able to go to or hopefully join where you'll have to worry about none of this. But there will be places where I think that does exist. And a lot, like, there's so many reasons, even just like getting the land and like that. That's just one of a checklist of reasons why I think like the 18-hole facility might not be as part of the future. But it's nice to cherish the ones that do exist and take advantage of them.
Yeah, no one's really changing old courses, but it also allows for smaller courses to be developed in places where you wouldn't normally have golf courses at the same time. Like, you could just build a lot of what was the course they played at in Japan? I can't remember if it was for the Zozo or it was the Olympics course, but it's
like the 2 greens, right?
Yeah, each of the holes had the 2 greens because they had different tee boxes at each of them. Like, those are 2 separate holes if you really want them.
I also think those were like winter and summer green, because something with the weather there too, that, like, I don't know, really sophisticated stuff. But yeah, listen, I think golf as a whole, like a lot of golf culture, and I love golf. I love watching golf. I love playing golf. I could watch, like, I don't like, obviously I'd love to watch Rom versus JT, but if it's Max Homa versus Hickok, like, I'm into it also. I love watching the best play. I love playing myself, but I think like stuffy amateur golfer is such
The worst.
like the worst thing about the sport. No one cares what you
Okay,
fucking
but
shoot,
there's a
man.
difference between being a stuffy person.
No, I
who,
understand
screws
that,
around
but
with the actual structure.
like I
of
think that the tour is gonna call them.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, look,
tomorrow.
I got
Like,
no time if you're playing a casual game with people. I said calling stroke and distance or all that nonsense. Like, sure, okay, like I'm with you with that. There's obviously room to relax, that sort of stuff.
No,
But
and I'm
that-
here to play by the rules, and I get like carrying what you
But for
score,
me,
but
when it comes to golf, there are the rules that are the big black border on the outside that you don't cross, and then inside there are rules where it's perfectly agreeable if everyone agrees.
you just have to know who
play
you're
around
playing
with
with,
rules.
and
That's
like,
right.
Oh,
But some
like
things you
you
don't
get the
change.
vibe of your group.
You
Some
you
things
are
you
you
just
are
don't
going
do.
to hate playing with me this summer because I'm going to have tons of times where I have like, hey, in between, if I film in the morning and film in the afternoon, it's like, oh, I have like 2 hours and 45 minutes to go play. So I got to drive there and I'll play for as long as I can play for till I got to go again.
Exactly.
Then I'm going to go. Like, so many people. That's one of the reasons to have a membership somewhere so you can go do those things.
I'm just not capable of that. I would just continue to play or stop at 9. It's just, I don't know. That's it. Maybe it's like some untapped thing where it's just a bugaboo that I have.
Yeah, well, you're a fucking insane person, so that actually makes a lot of sense.
I'm not. When I saw Geoff out there touting for 14-hole golf, my jaw hit the floor. Like,
I don't. 18 holes sounds like a long time for a kid. I don't know. Like, I'm just saying. I don't
4
think
hours,
it's
fun.
crazy.
It's what the game is. How the game is supposed to be played. Again, there's room in the joints for a lot of the rules, but there are some things, like I said, that big black border outside the perimeter that you just don't play around.
Gatekeeping Tim Andercust doesn't want people to play golf.
See,
Is all
I
you're
am
saying.
of the belief
No.
that I want everyone to sort of find their like way, like their own way into it, like in a way they like, and then they'll, if that's what they want, they'll get into the 18-hole grind and whatever. But I don't know, it's such a game that I find for kids can be so demoralizing and hard to get into, that I don't know, anything, whatever, choose your own adventure that makes it like work for you, I'm into.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, all right. Well,
You're really like heated about this. I told you were gonna like yell at a wall because I didn't have your passion, but I think you're wrong.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Everybody does all the time. I'm used to that. Well, it's time for me to take a victory lap. Maybe a month or so ago, a report came out about how wired.
Stop. No, let's stop
Yeah.
right now. Jeff, here's how I want to preface this CUST Corner because you saw the tweet that he sent us. Did you know that Tim agrees with everything Kamala Harris says?
that is not true.
That's
But
what.
how
So,
if you
so,
allow
so,
me
so why is it that you're
to lay
agreeing
out-
blindly? I don't want to even talk about this. This is ridiculous because we've already explained it to you. You know that you're wrong, yet you're going to pretend like this is now a bit, and that's not what I want for this CUST Corner.
No, I wanted
Give-
to talk
give-
about
give me-
an article a month ago about how they're chic and cool, and how the kids these days want nothing to do with earpods. They're all about wired earphones. That's what the article said. And then
Where
month
was?
later,
Hold on. Where was this article from?
you know that I sent it to you guys. I don't know where it was from.
So where was?
but I
Can you
sent
give
it
us
to
a real source of where this was from? Was it?
I sent it to you all. You read it, and we were talking about it in our text threads like a month or so ago. You remember where you said, "Oh, just because you said, oh, just because some Zoomer doesn't." like
Yes,
the
some random blogger put this out there, and you're like, "Oh, so everyone agrees with me." This is like going on
And then a
Dolphins
month-
Reddit and saying
then a
that
month later-
everyone thinks that they're going to the Super Bowl.
And then a month later, the vice president only wears these wired headphones because she's concerned about her Bluetooth being hacked. I just want to take a victory lap. I was mocked for these things, but I was right about wired headphones, and I was right about hackability.
Why were you right about wired headphones? Because you're too stupid to figure out how to use Bluetooth?
I don't know if we're actually recording. I do want to say that in searching for it does seem like there is a plethora of articles from all sorts of reliable sources, like respected outlets, about how cool kids are wearing wired headphones. I don't know if that's what Tim is referring to, what he sent us.
That's one of them that said that. One of them did say that, like a month or two ago, an article said that like people are out on, as I always said, AirPods were a fad. They'd last for a while, but their day is come and their day is gone. They're not popular or cool or hip. And now we get an article that the vice president herself only wears wired headphones for security reasons. So not only are wired earphones better, like cooler and hipper and neater, they're also safer for you. So I think
why are they safer for you?
Because there's a risk of hacking.
Is there a risk of hacking?
You think the vice president of the United States knows less about these things than you do?
Well, here's my question for you. You have disagreed with every single thing that she has said for 2.5 years.
That's not necessarily.
Jeff, what do we see in our Twitter DMs? Look at stupid Kamala Harris. She's such an idiot.
She
says one thing and now she's absolutely
Tim
right.
Coming out tomorrow and saying he's right about something because the Cuomos agree with him.
Well, now that's a whole other level.
No, it's not. It's essentially the same thing.
Now, because like Kamala has some hawkish views on foreign policy that I'm very sympathetic towards as well. So it's not a complete disagreement with her. I just don't think she's a very good politician.
You have never highlighted one thing that she's ever said that you agree with. You've gone out of your way to send us stuff that we don't even fucking care about how she's wrong about this. Like, Tim, we don't care. And now one thing happens and all of a sudden you're Team Harris?
I'm on anyone's side, I guess, who will help to prove my point and get me the credit that I deserve.
But you don't get credit because, then let's rewind this here for a second. As I've already pointed out to you, you were concerned that someone hacked your Bluetooth because your phone was fucking telling you where you were going. Which has nothing to do with your Bluetooth. It has everything to do with the location services on your phone. Jeff, I offered to turn off his location services on his phone. What did he say? Well, no, how am I supposed to know where I'm going? So what the fuck do you want?
Yeah, it's really weird that he thinks he's being hacked from the proprietary information, such as where he is going, but technically only he knows and he hasn't told anybody.
There it is.
See, that's not what's going on here.
See, if people are listening to the audio version of the show, we're talking about main character syndrome here. When someone thinks they are the main character of life, usually comes with a side of individuality complex or a quirky style and self-centered point of views. Quote, I asked CUST where the beer was, and CUST said, just over the horizon, like in my dreams. Yeah, that girl has a major case of main character syndrome, the girl in this scenario being CUST.
I don't have main character syndrome. You just don't want to give me my credit.
For what?
Which is that I was right.
You were wrong. You were wrong about what you said. We told you were wrong. You've now brought it back up, and we've explained it to you again how you're wrong.
So I'm willing to concede that I was wrong about how Bluetooth would be hacked.
Then what the fuck are you? Then what are you victory lapping?
But I was right for wrong reasons. But I was still right. It can be hacked.
Can it?
It's differently than I thought.
Well, are you victory lapping that Teen Vogue wrote an article? Wired headphones are the new accessory.
Yes, Teen Vogue. That's where it came from. Yes, that's where it came from.
So you want to be on the side of hipsters here? I thought you were very anti-hipster.
I'm not anti. I am anti-hipster. This is not about hipsters. It's about what is cool, what is in the public. As as a man of the people, I like to stoop down to the commoners.
Tim's beaten to Teen Vogue over here. You fucking creep.
No, I just saw it on Twitter that someone was talking about how cool wired earphones were. And that got my attention because I am on the team of wired headphones are superior in every single way.
Except for convenience.
Except for they're a lot safer and they're a lot
Why are they safer?
Because they obviously have...
Well, wouldn't technically wired headphones be less safe because you could strangle yourself with them?
Obviously, the vice president isn't wearing.
Why? Everything else she does is wrong, but this is correct.
Not everything.
We also just saw Trump do 4 years of insanity, and he was the president. Does that make him even more right about everything he did?
No, not at all. But I'm just trying to make the point that when we look at this thing where I was pilloried for saying that wireless earphones were really cool and that Bluetooth can be hacked.
No one said that wireless. Hold on, stop. You're now twisting what was said completely. No one said that wireless headphones were cool. Everyone just said that wireless headphones are better and more convenient, which they are. No one disagrees with that except for 14-year-old hipsters.
So the tastemakers in the world have decided
Teen Vogue. So you're believing Teen Vogue on this?
And, well, Jeff just made the point that when you look online, there are several publications.
The exact article you sent us was from Mashable, and it said why Gen Z is plugging in wired headphones and tuning out AirPods. But
boom,
you hate it's so weird. It's so weird. You hate Kamala Harris. You hate Gen
Teens.
Zers, but you're now using them to credit lap.
So I don't hate Kamala Harris. She and I just disagree on a lot of political issues, and again, the people are showing a definite turn back towards wired earphones, which is what I always.
But what people? Who have
you
you seen switch back to wired headphones in your real life?
I have no idea.
This is no different than when you click a BuzzFeed list and you're like, millennials are out of control. They're doing all these things, although you've never seen anyone do them.
I assume those people have their ear to the ground on what.
Why?
millennials
Why
are up
do you
to.
assume that? They have to fill out fucking a list for internet clickbait. So idiots
Well,
like
they
you
got
click
my
on it and
click.
be like, oh my God.
They got my click.
Of course they did. You're very gullible.
I'm very interested in these things. I just think it's time for you all to doff your cap and give me a little bit of credit
For
about
what?
being right
For what?
about
You haven't
wired
been right. You haven't been right about anything, and now you want credit. This is how far you have fallen. You want credit for things you're not even right about. Think about how
I am
sad
right.
you're not right. Jeff, is he right or wrong?
No, I don't think you're right. He also, like a month ago, victory lapped how bad the Chiefs were, and now they're really good again.
I don't know that I victory
Yeah,
lapped.
you wanted a credit for saying
You said
like,
I deserved credit, and I accepted the credit you gave me. I didn't come looking for it. That's not quite the way that vector pointed, and you know that.
But as soon as it was talked into existence, what happened, Jeff? The Chiefs started becoming good again.
Yeah, until they play the Patriots at some point in the playoffs and lose, because that's just what's going to happen. But anyway, that was the only point I wanted to make on this mini, is that I said that
you were wrong, but you want to be considered right because you're not right about
AirPods
it.
were just a fad, and it's clear that the new generation want nothing to do with them, and so they're going to. You'll look like some old time boomer on your elliptical with your AirPods. And
Why would I be on an elliptical? I'm not fucking you.
Okay, well, any machine you want. The youth of the day will be at the gym and say, "Look at that old guy over there with his AirPods in." Essentially, you're the same as somebody who wears a Walkman.
But I also don't wear AirPods. What are you talking about?
Well, just wireless earphones.
Yeah, that's not the same thing, by the way.
Those things are gone. They're done for. They're a thing of the past.
So wireless headphones are done for.
This is what the articles Jeff is looking at. It says exactly.
No, I didn't say that.
The Gen Z are eschewing wired earphones, the wireless ones for wired ones. They're plugging in.
Jeff,
that's the way.
Since you're going as you're the point of confirmation on this, do you think it has anything to do with wireless headphones being around 5 times as expensive as wired headphones?
I don't know. It just seems like it's this hipster look to have the wires.
Yeah.
Like these are people, like I've seen the people in these articles. They're never dressed like Tim in 100 years. I don't understand. Like it's a style thing, not a practicality thing. So Tim is agreeing with them, but they're not agreeing
with Tim
on the same things.
Yeah. They're doing it to stand out and be
sense.
different because it's so ridiculous. And Tim's like, no, that's not ridiculous. That's how it is.
Or you're just now burning with jealousy, knowing that the technology you've chosen is now all.
What are you talking about? I use my headphones probably more than anyone that you know. And just having the ability just to be click one in one ear, one in the other ear, don't have to fucking carry shit around with me. It is the greatest. It is so convenient. And what will people default to more than anything else? It's going to be convenience. So I don't think that if you want to go invest in something right now, maybe we should do this, Jeff, is go invest hard into wireless headphones. Now that Tim has victory lapped their death.
And write about their security issues, clearly.
What security issues would come down to?
That's why the vice president won't wear AirPods. She's afraid of the Bluetooth being hacked.
But the president will do it. And everyone else with national security secrets has no problem with Bluetooth. But she does. Therefore, you're right about something that you weren't even
skeptical of. I'm also a Bluetooth skeptic, too. I've always been a Bluetooth skeptic.
But you didn't understand how Bluetooth worked.
No one understands how it actually works, except for the scientists who created it. If I were to ask you to draw a sketch about the nature of how Bluetooth works, your paper would be blank. You don't know how it works. I don't know how it works.
Why is Bluetooth, let me ask you this, any different than using wireless internet?
I have no idea.
Will you use wireless internet, though? Or will you have to be hardwired into a secure system at all times?
I think that wireless internet is obviously rife for hacking purposes, which is why places use VPNs and such that carry classified materials.
Are you sure you know what a VPN is?
I think I do.
All right, what is it?
And that's a VPN. It's that thing you log into to like act as a firewall between you and the outside world.
If there was a firewall between you and the outside world, how would you get through the firewall?
Well, because you know the access code.
So you have the key to the door through the firewall?
Yeah, exactly.
You have no idea how this works, do you?
I mean, I think I'm pretty much right.
Not, but okay. You like to make stuff up, don't you?
No, I'm not making it up. I have this general sense of what a VPN is, and that you log into it and you log out of it. And it's sort of like a buffer.
I mean, saying it that simplistically, sort of, is closer than you were before.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like,
but you still have no idea what it does.
I mean, I have a sense that it's like offers protection from outside.
Yeah, but you
people.
don't. But you don't know how that works.
No, I don't, because I'm not a computer scientist.
You don't need to be a fucking computer scientist. You just need to be not a moron, and you can figure it out.
Okay, well, I guess I'm a moron. I'm a grade A moron then.
You're what? Sorry.
I guess I'm a grade A moron then.
That is a great clip that we can use. Thank you. Let's get into the late set of games. Detroit at Denver. Denver is an 8-point. You really don't think you should have said that? Really?
Can we like delete that so you don't have that?
If you can explain to me how I would delete that from this record in real time, I will delete it for you. Go.
I have no idea.
Why? You make stuff up for everything else you don't understand. Why don't you go do it for this one? Maybe you can guess right.
GarageBand it. I don't know. Go into GarageBand and edit the time code thingy. I guess I'm a grade A moron then.
Go ahead.
You have to realize you're using Kamala Harris and Gen Zers to take a victory lap would be like you using a stat that like Tua leads the league in to pump up Zach Wilson.
Look, that shows you how much I think I deserve credit.
How desperate you are.
No, it shows how desperate you are for credit.
Well, can I at least get it then?
No, it's like there's a drought. How fucking thirsty you are right now. It's incredible.
Exactly.
And then I will put in that clip. Yes, sir. Yes, Paul, you would like to say something. Can we talk about one tweet that he got? Yeah, we can. Do you have it ready to pull up right now? Paul doing some on-the-fly producing here. Why was the coach wasting your talent with you on the O-line, on the line, instead of moving the chains with you at tailback? So according to Tim, in his football career, as he was tweeting out when he was fucking 9 years old or something, I was too good at calling out the protections as a centre to play tailback. Really? Or was it that you weren't allowed to play tailback because you were a heavy and had to wear one of those stripes on your helmet?
No, I didn't have to wear one of those stripes. That's why I got to play defensive end, not defensive tackle, because I wasn't one of the heavies. I didn't have to have the red stripe on my helmet. But no, I was really good at being a center because I was good at reading the protections. So, like, I could pick out the mic and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons
you could pick out the mic. You could tell who was playing fucking middle linebacker, could you?
It's a little harder.
Congratulations.
It's a little harder in Canadian football. Anyway, I played both sides. I was a throwback guy. I played both sides of the line, center and defensive end.
How old were you when you played football?
14.
And how long did you play for?
Just the 2001 year. So I would have been, I think, 14 that year.
You were so good you had to retire at 14?
That was the apex of my physical prowess in terms of athleticism. That was it. Like, I never got higher than that apogee.
But you can currently rush for 3.5 yards per carry in the NFL.
If you give me an NFL offensive line and an NFL fullback, I'm getting you that first down.
If you went back and played for this team right now that you played for, do you think you could average 3 yards per carry? Because I don't think you could. Jeff?
Yes, I do.
What do you think, Jeff? His Pee-wee football
Do I think Tim
could he average 3 yards per carry if he just went and played Pee-wee football right now and you handed the ball off to Tim, could he average 3 yards per carry? I say no.
You like Kramer in that
I do.
contest.
He's a grown man. Like, he went out there for 13-year-olds.
I mean, there's some big 13. He said it was 14. There's some big 14-year-olds out there.
Anything under 15 years old, Tim would get 3 yards a carry.
Okay, how about this? Maybe on his team, and Canadian Pee Wee football. What about 13 and 14-year-olds in Texas with Tim in the backfield? He would die. Like, he would be in the hospital. They would hit him so hard.
I would just juke, and then that would be it.
Really? Do we have to play your 40? Do we have to cut to your 40 time again? Over seven? You're over 7-second 40 time?
Well, again, the first 2 times it was under 7 seconds. I had to run it 3 consecutive times.
Jeff, do you know why he had to run it 3 times?
The first time I went early.
Jeff?
The second time
You went early again. You went early again.
No.
Do you know why it didn't record or didn't record properly? Because you left a fucking full second before the go.
No, the people for
so now we're twisting our stories to make you not look so incompetent. Now, I was there. I saw the entire thing. We couldn't. Why do you think we would ask you to run it so many times?
Because the second time the recording didn't work correctly.
Oh yeah, but we have every other bit of footage, but the recording didn't work correctly. Okay, Tim.
Like
thanks.
they didn't start it on time. Yes, that is what happened.
Yeah, that's not what happened, but okay.
It is what happened.
Continue.
I wouldn't make it up. I don't know why I would make it up.
Why you make up everything? All that you just tried to explain things to people which you have no idea what they are and say them with confidence, like you know what's going on. You have no fucking idea, especially about this, because I was actually there to verify it.
And I was there too. And they just
but you're a known liar. I'm not.
Oh, please. The first time I went early, the second time the camera operator didn't get the record going correctly, and so I had to do it a third time.
No, you left early both times.
Just the first time.
Both
time. I don't
times.
know why.
And you ran in over 7-second 40. You should be able to run it 100 times and at least brace fucking 6.
It was the third time. I was full of donuts, and I was wearing blue jeans.
And what was I wearing?
I think you were wearing like those black track pants.
Yeah, I went to NFL Media Day wearing black track pants, Tim. So let's see whose memories really work out a lot better here. Mine, who remembers what happened, or you, who's making stuff up.
You're right. I don't remember what pants you were wearing in February 2018 for this event. You're right. You got me. I don't remember.
But when was the last time outside of a Sunday while I'm lounging watching football have you ever seen me wear track pants?
It's been a while.
How long? Have you ever seen it?
I'm sure I have, but I don't know.
The answer is no. I own one pair of track pants that I bought like 6 months ago so I can lounge on Sundays.
I like track pants.
I'm sure you do. You also like tucking sweater vests into basketball shorts.
That looked nice. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says.
You should do it with some wired headphones.
Well, I would if I want to look cool, because that's what the cool people are doing these days.
Yeah, that's
sorry, boomer.
You can look
with
like
your AirPods, boomer.
I don't wear AirPods
or wireless earphones, boomer.
Sure. Listen, I'm fine with that. I will continue to wear my wireless headphones.
Did you record the music you're listening to off an 8-track too?
That would be awesome. See, that sounds like something that Gen Z will start to do. It's like how records became really big for Gen Z. Maybe 8-tracks will be next.
Maybe.
Do you listen to everything on record?
I listen to a few things on vinyl because I've got a vinyl player here, but not much.
Who is more hipster than you?
No, but I'm not doing it to be hipster.
Then why are you doing it?
Because it sounds nice. No, I don't have like.
Oh yeah,
this.
I bet you your fucking 45-year-old record player sounds a lot better.
I felt really out of place this week. I felt really out of place this week when everybody was like putting out their lists of, oh, here's what I was listening to on the Spotify this year, and here's my downloads. And I was like, I don't have any of these things. I don't have any of these songs or downloads. I don't use the Spotify. I felt like very out of place.
My numbers were all JoJo Siwa.
The hell does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
It means I'm a girl dad.
Oh, yeah. Like I had the Wiggles as my number one.
Yeah, I got a lot of JoJo Siwa coming in hot. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
That's really strange.
She's like a big deal, but yeah. Actually, Tim, you don't know who JoJo Siwa is?
No, I don't.
You're a maven of pop culture?
Not that popular of a culture, I guess.
Yeah, buddy, just shows what you don't. You're no maven of pop culture.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, fine. I don't know who this Joe Siwa is. You're right.
She's like a huge deal that people listen. I'm not saying you need to know who she is at all. I'm saying somebody who considers themselves a maven of pop culture needs to know who she is. And by not knowing who she is, it's really a bad scene for someone who considers themselves said maven.
Will she be on the Grammys in a few weeks? Because like if she performs at the Grammys, I'll see her.
Don't they have like real old people perform at the Grammys? Because like only
I don't
old
know.
people would
It's supposed
watch
to
the
be like
Grammys.
I watch the Grammys usually because it's like contemporary, so I keep up with what the music scene is today. That's what they give out album of the year, song of the year. They're not
You
giving
don't
it
even listen to
John Bon
music,
Jovi.
and I know how off base you are.
No, the Grammys are very instructive as to teaching you what sort of is in. We live in a world
No,
where
because I actually saw this article of people voting or complaining that the songs that should be album of the year, song of the year, the artist didn't even put up to be nominated.
That could be. I can't speak to that. All I know is that if something's getting voted song of the year, it's probably really popular.
Might be, but it seems aren't the Grammys like routinely mocked about how off base they are?
I have no idea. I like them. I find them to be a useful sort of. We live in a world where everything's so cloistered and separated, and no one is sort of listening to this. We don't have music videos to watch on TV anymore, and nobody's listening to the radio anymore. So we don't have the same songs that we're listening to as a group. So the Grammys sort of brings us together as an opportunity to collectively realize what it is that we're actually listening to, and what is it that we're rewarding.
Paul, can you do me a favor? Can you re-upload the Jake show from earlier? For whatever reason, it's published. It's been published for 4 hours, but it just won't pop up on Apple or Spotify. Yeah, the audio podcast. The video version is fine. That's out. But the audio podcast should have dropped 5 hours ago, and it's just not popping up. I mean, I just checked iTunes. People are telling me it's not up, and I can't find it either. But it's telling me on the page that it's published. So I'm going to need to re-upload it, I think. I'm going to revert this one to a draft because it's not even going anyway. So yeah, let me know when that's uploaded. I can do it from here as I'm going to continue to talk. Let's get to the late games as we tried to do a little bit earlier before Tim kept being insane. Custy Awards are almost ready, by the way, Geoff. The categories.
Can't be
there are so many this year that Rob is having a tough time organizing it all. So if people want to have any memories, maybe some more, anything you can remember that was Andercust for this year, tag Rob McIntyre on Twitter, as he is the compiler of the Custies. And he is at RobMCI16 on Twitter. That's who you tweet at. He takes care of the Custies. So if there's like stuff,
he's like the Ernst and Young of the Custies.
Do you think he knows about the horsey that passed away?
I mean, he may. Yeah, Tim killed a horse again this weekend, Geoff. If you didn't hear.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't. I mean, why? Because he bet on him 3 years ago or something.
No,
I
picked him
this year to win the Kentucky Derby, and now he's dead.
Not the Kentucky Derby. I picked him to win the Preakness this year.
Dead.
And then he died this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Subway founder is way more like that. Has my vote if we're doing Tim deaths from the year.
Most Cust murdered.
Anyway, I don't think there's that many things. When we get to the vote, I think you're gonna have trouble finding things this year. This was not a very quote unquote cursed year in my opinion.
But again, that's in your opinion. You tend to have the worst opinions, as we found out.
He's also just made the last 3 weeks of the year very dangerous.
That's true. Watch your. That will do it for CUST Corner 36, Part B. You can check out Part A if you want, or all of the CUST Corners on the CUST Corner exclusive audio feed or on the playlist video versions up on the Mayo Media Network. Sub to that, by the way, smash the like on the way out, and please leave the rating and review on the audio podcast. Take you like 20 seconds. And these shows are long, so you're going to have plenty of downtime to do it while you're listening to the show. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.
Mayo experience! Experience!